but the other guy that played the cop, he's coming to Triller too, I believe. Rosewood? I forget Rosewood or the.
God damn, I ain't seen Rosewood in a minute.
Yeah, I believe he's gonna be at Triller also.
He was also. It would make sense when he would be at Triller because he was in Killer Clowns, wasn't he?
Was he in Killer Clowns? No, but I know what actor you're talking about though. I think that guy passed away, but I know who you're talking about. The guy that didn't believe that there was clowns.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. Yeah, that guy's been like we're talking about like old 80s movies that we love. Like is back to Beverly Hills Cop an 80s movie or 90s movie? Once again, like
I would definitely want to say that's a 80s movie.
It has to be. Like at least the first one is the 80s. I know later on, at least the third one we saw like in the late 90s, but if you're around
1984, the first one.
1984. Okay, so everything happened around between 1984 and 1985. All the amazing things that we have now in 2021 happened. Like around that time, that's essentially where all the.
I'm telling you, man, the 80s was the greatest era in fucking human history. There's like there's so much content, especially in pop culture. There's so much stuff that came out like throughout the 80s into the 90s.
The funny thing though is I want to say this is a fun fact that I learned a while back. I don't remember who said it, but did you know that you know what the first movie that was rated PG-13 was? Because PG-13 is from the 80s. It's not even that old.
Yeah. No, I have no idea.
Is Indiana Jones, the first Indiana Jones movie.
Wow, okay.
Because they wanted to get like they were trying to find a nice rating where like, you know, it wasn't for kids, but it's funny because in a movie where a freaking dude's face melts like a candle, that's a PG-13 movie. Like,
right. All right. Tell your kid to just close your eyes on that scene.
Which is like just insane because like that always comes. I have no idea why that scene from a movie is always the funniest. If somebody ever says like, "Oh, well, I went and did some product testing for something and then I drunk it," and it's like, so then you had to that happen to you, like, ah!
Oh, I mean, like, what was that Halloween 3? The one that has nothing to do with Michael Myers when you put on those pumpkin masks and that shit like eats your face, like holy shit.
Fun. It's fun that in the show today, guys, we are actually going to be talking about Halloween Kills because Halloween Kills came out yesterday, right before we did the show here, and
more like brutality. Dude, like
called Michael Myers Kills the Hotel.
Yeah, like what the fuck?
Which is
that was pretty damn brutal.
There's a lot of good things about the movie we'll talk about, and then there's also some things that we were like, okay, I can live without these particular things. But on the eve, we're now in the post of DC Fandom 2021.
Ooh, DC fan.
So much stuff, man. So much stuff. If you guys are just tuning in, this is your first time checking out the show, we do appreciate you hitting that play button or just, giving us a moment of your time. I'm Markell, and
I'm Ronnie.
The ugly guy over there that popped up for a second was Ronnie. He's my brother. And excuse me, sir, that middle finger is not going to be okay for children here. That person who just hit play might be only 5 years old.
No. That doesn't mean what you think it means. It just means I am here, guys.
You're just raising his hand. He's just
raising my hand. Yeah, there you go.
For some reason, Zoom doesn't recognize that. You see, I raised my hand and something comes up on the screen on my side and says you raised your hand. But for some reason, when you put up your middle finger, it just doesn't do. I guess there must be something in the algorithm. Okay.
Yes, so.
If you guys are just tuning in, we do appreciate you coming to check us out. We are just two nerds here who love pop culture. So we do a pop culture show. We talk about the latest and greatest in news. Sometimes we have some guests, and sometimes we just shoot the shit on the things that we love.
You go ahead and read them cue cards. He's doing a good job reading those cue cards.
Reading it right there. The line says, the next one says, make sure Ronnie doesn't get his advertising check. Yep. That's,
all right.
That's what
I will find you. I will
but there's no advertising check because we have no advertisements at this time. So we appreciate all the support that you give us just with your attention, because that's more valuable than anything else. We can spend that every day. The more you know. Yes, we are so poor we don't even have the
Yeah, we don't even have the
effects.
actual soundtrack to say the more you know.
I'll try to do this, and then maybe in post I'll be able to do it. No. So we're gonna start things off before we dive into the meat of the show, which is all the crazy entertainment news and give our reviews and opinions on movies and TV and all that good stuff. We're gonna start off with this new segment we created for Zoom, specifically called Mail Call.
Mail call. But what if I don't have any mail?
So mail call is where two males go on the Zoom and start doing the dance.
Imagine.
Now you don't get that for free. You only get to find out about what we got in the mail. Goddamn it! There we go. All right, so I'll start it off. One of my lovely new obsessions, of course, is all NECA toys, and I was very fortunate enough to get my hands on the new Arnold Schwarzenegger edition, special new release. This is actually one of the first ones that NECA brought out. It has what I love about it is it shows you like all of the photo art that's done on here, like all the photography, and it's freaking gorgeous. But they do a lot of great jobs, especially when it's movies, when it's connected. Do you remember that scene from the movie?
Oh hell yeah, that was in the nightclub. Who can forget that? I can't even forget.
Wait, now I want to ask you a question because I remember when I was sitting here with my wife and I opened up this toy, and all I could think of in my head was just from seeing that picture and looking at the toy was I could think of the song that's playing in the club. Can you remember the song that's playing in the club?
Oh no, I don't remember that far. I don't remember the song that was playing.
It's not now that I've brought it up, I can't remember at the moment, but it was just like I remember just opening the package and then I was sitting there and I'm looking at it and all of a sudden I just start singing the song in the club because the next thing you know, he's coming into the screen to like blow your brains out.
No, he had some real canon pieces too when he was he was truly.
He comes with a that scope gun here. Let me put it up in the camera for you.
Yeah.
Uzi. But one of the little special details I love on this guy here is the shirt. Actually, like gave him the shirt like you wore in the movie. Like that guy.
That's awesome. Oh, you know how old I am? I fucking remember watching that in theaters.
Holy shit. That's
I'm pretty sure I think that I went to the theater to see the first Terminator.
Holy shit. Wow.
I gotta check the year that came out, but
here's a little fun fact. I'm gonna read the box on the box. You see here, it's just probably on the movie poster, right? I'm gonna read that out to you guys because you can't see it from there. But it's
1980, also 1984, just like Beverly Hills Cop. Man, that was a good year for movies, huh?
I told you, man, 1984, 1985, it had everything. It was just like it was the renaissance of awesome pop culture that would then live on almost 40 years, and some of it is 40 years old in this time. On the box here, it says, in the year of darkness, 2029. Oh God, I hope that's not for real. Because it ain't too far away from 2020.
That was definitely last year. That was definitely last year.
Oh, maybe there was a misprint here. In the year of darkness 2020, the rulers of this planet devised the ultimate plan. They would reshape the future by changing the past. The plan required something that felt no pity, no pain, no fear, something unstoppable. They created the Terminator.
Terminator. Yeah, that was the one where he was like, "I'll be back." Like, who can forget that? My man ran a fucking car into a police station and then proceeded to kill the shit out of a bunch of cops. If that's not badass, I don't know what is.
For the love, I remember I did this before, and the lovely place where somebody might be watching this on, it got pulled because I love Terminator a lot. Anybody knows me, I love Terminator. I love to collect the toys and things like that. I have a freaking T-800 head over here on my shelf, like an actual replica of the robot head on my shelf. And the funny thing is that I remember posting a video on Instagram and then also posting it on YouTube, and they both pulled it down, which was that moment where he came in and looked around and said, "I'll be back," and then came in and proceeded to gun down the police station, I was able to go into Adobe Premiere and sync that whole sequence to the song Black Betty, where he's coming in, oh, Black Betty,
Oh my God.
oh, Black Betty, oh, Black Betty. He's just getting there, like, Black Betty, he was just gunning people down. And I posted it, and it's like, no, we can't, not gonna.
Yeah,
not
you
gonna,
can't be, this is not a fun moment. I mean, it is for cinema,
fun
but not in this day and age where like fucking that shit happens for real now.
It's very sad, very sad. Please take us out of this sad place and bring us your.
Actually, look, I'll take us out of this by talking about more guns.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was just telling you.
You said that's NECA? Where does it say NECA on it?
Oh, top of the box.
Can you tell the audience what we're looking at?
Top of the box. We will be looking at the wonderful Ed 209 from the original RoboCop movie. Woo! Look at that. And oh wait, let me see if I can do his voice where he said, "Please put down your weapon. You have 30 seconds to comply." And he killed the shit out of that. And he killed the shit out of that executive during the presentation. And he was like, "I assure you, we worked all the bugs."
Right now, I gotta give a backstory real quick while you're showing that to everybody. The reason Ronnie purchased this is because on October the 29th, Chiller Theater here in New Jersey is going to be hosting Mr. Ronnie Cox, the bad guy from both Beverly Hills Cop. I mean, he wasn't a bad guy in Beverly Hills Cop, but he was in Beverly Hills Cop.
But he was ironically, yeah, he was in those movies. We got a whole 80s retro thing going on.
Whole 80s going by for this whole thing, man.
But he played Dick Jones, the creator of this wonderful beast right here, who, if anybody remembers the turning point in the movie, he handed RoboCop's ass to him with some hardcore firepower in that ass.
I had to kill Bob Morton because he made a mistake. That's what so Ronnie Cox, the actor we're talking about, will be in Chiller Theater, and Ronnie's gonna be getting that sweet little NECA toy that he spent a good chunk of his hard-earned lunch money on.
There we go.
Oh, it makes sounds?
It makes some sounds.
Holy shit, I didn't know that. Does it open up or anything or no? That's awesome. I'm like, how fucking dope is that? Yeah, that's fucking awesome, man. Like, once you get that sign, now you got to like put something on.
I'm gonna have to run out of there so nobody tries to steal it from me.
They're like, "Sir, can I take a look at that? Just give it right here. I'll take it."
Like, no, I'm okay. Yeah, I'm gonna put it in a nice little display case, and I want to get the RoboCop Funko too. I don't know if they make any really good RoboCop figures. I know they have sideshow statues that are.
What do you mean? Awesome. They make NECA figures. Where do you think that came from? They make NECA regular action figures of him. They're just old.
Okay. Oh, I'd have to look up.
Two versions. They have the RoboCop versus Terminator, which is the ones I'm trying to collect. And because I'm telling you right now, I tomorrow's what, Sunday? Is that comic book store you told me it open tomorrow?
Oh yeah, they're open. Yep.
Okay, so just to clue folk in who what we're talking about. I'm a collector of like NECA toys, both old and new, and I love RoboCop, but specifically the Frank Miller RoboCop versus Terminator. Because the reason I want to get it is simply because I hate losing, so I lost the bids for that, and I bid a second in eBay for it, and somebody came in and sniped me like, pow! Like,
that has happened to me a lot. I've had that happen a lot.
I was like, forget it. If somebody has it, because it's not sold in stores anymore, it's legit not made anymore. The same thing with
that's like the original Gunslinger Spawn. Like the first one he made, that one's very hard to find now.
Yeah. Oh yeah, forget it. You're not even gonna find that in like a thrift store at this point. But yes, I will be if that store is open tomorrow, I will be making a trip on down to that comic book store to hand them some money and say, "Here you go, sir. Now let me have it. Give it to me. Come on.
Give it to me."
But yeah, let me see what else I got for. I only got a second thing here for mail call, which ironically, it's funny that I would get this toy that I'm about to show you because if you check my Instagram, I actually met this dude for the second time. I met him the first time at AEW when they came to Newark there, right outside the arena. I met him, but we weren't able to like take a picture or do anything because he was working. And then they had an event recently in Philly, which is right at Temple University. It was freaking awesome because it was for a great charity for literacy called Treehouse. And all you had to do to meet him was, you know, you got a photo with him as long as you donated at least one book. Well, I'm an overachiever, so I donated about 15 books. And they were all comic books because, I mean, why else? Why read? Don't read books with words. Picture books is the way to go. Don't let anyone ever tell you any different. You can just read picture books. Look at us.
Well, I would think that most people probably wouldn't think to bring comic books. Most people would bring just regular books. You forget that source of literature is just as important these days as all the other stuff.
Oh, really? You mean all of these companies that are now realizing that all of this stuff we've loved for pretty much most of our lives is actually valuable IP and actually is able to teach human beings?
I mean, think about that. There was a time period where comic books weren't even really considered literature. That's not literature at all. And I'm pretty sure I don't even have to be a mathematician to know, like, I wonder in 2021, do graphic novels and comic books fly off shelves faster than regular books at Barnes and Noble?
Here's a little fun fact for you. I'm going to go piggybacking right off of what you said. If you look that up, what you're talking about just happened like maybe 25 years ago. It ain't that long ago. In our lifetime is when they're like, all right, I guess this is feasible. Like, that's what it's like, all right, I guess this is for more than kids. Oh, okay, cool. Like, it just became this thing over time that became like, you and I know, to be the kind of nerd that you can be in this day and age going to high school or elementary school, not the same thing. He's one of those comic nerds. You're into all of that stuff, and you still get people out there. I'm pretty sure anyone.
You still get every once in a while, but now you're sort of a loser if you don't know what's going on these days. It's reverse.
Well, now it's because the crowd has increased. It used to be the reverse. The crowd was much larger, people who didn't like it. So now it's a matter of, I don't watch those movies. And there's like 20 people, you just said that too. And all they do is go, okay, and then turn away from you and continue.
I'm gonna tell you right now that I'm jealous of the nerds of this generation. I grew up in the fucking 80s. If you were a nerd, you had to hide that shit because unless a bully or a jock brought that shit up, don't talk about it at all. Don't bring that shit up.
It was only like sports and
then even if they brought it up, you gotta act like if they're like, yo, you caught that Batman movie the other day? That shit was kind of cool. You got to be like, I saw a little bit of it. You can't be like, you can't go full geek and be like, yeah, remember the cinematography? You're like, punch in the face.
One thing that was beneficial for me, being a person who could draw from a young age, I think that helped me in terms of, like, I love these things and I would draw them all the time, and that would keep the bullying to a minimum because they would see like, oh, that's a dope Batman. Oh, you drew Batman? Oh, that's a dope picture, yo. And then they go, all right, I'm gonna take that. And I'm like, oh, okay.
or they like, can you draw me one?
Yeah, and then it's like, I guess, and then you do it, and they're like, okay, yeah, I'll take that. And it's like, but you told me you'd give me $1. And it's like, what'd you say? Enjoy.
Yeah, little did you know when you got older, you found out like people do that sort of thing at Comic-Con, but for money. Real amounts of money.
Real amounts of money. So the guy that I'm bearing the lead on in terms of my next mail call is the special edition LGN of Cody Rhodes from AEW's new line. This is from series 1. It's a series 1 of the LGN series because it's the first one that's made like this. The cool thing about it is just like the old LGN toys that you probably could find maybe at your local thrift store, if not like, buy a bunch of them used on eBay, is that it comes with a little baby poster on the inside. On the back of it, it has
that's cool
card.
Those are like the big figures that WWE made back in the day, like way back in the day.
It's the same company right there, LGN.
Yeah.
With the little
they made like those. I remember they were like that big plastic, like it was like Hogan and it was like Hogan, Ultimate Warrior. It wasn't a lot of them though. It was only like 3 or 4 different characters. I hope they make
at point in time, but now
I hope they make a nice CM Punk one like that. I would take that.
I'm pretty sure they're gonna do a lot of the characters in that way. Probably like Darby Allin. Like,
oh, you know, when they drop a CM Punk figure, that shit's gonna sell out quick.
It's gonna be so hard to get that. You saw what happened when they tried to sell his shirt. He tried to sell his shirt. He shut the website down for like a day. So yeah, I imagine I was lucky enough to get my hands on a couple of them, but like that was hours later. You know, it wasn't when it first happened. So, and then it's funny because the shirt from the event when he first came back is way more valuable than the other one. Like the Ringer shirt, you know, you can still probably buy it on AEW now for like $20, $30. But if you got the shirt from that night that happened, forget about it. That's a $200, $300 shirt right now on eBay somewhere. So, but that's all I have from Mail Call. Did you have anything else?
That's about it.
Okay. All right.
I got shit tons of stuff, but yeah, that was about it. That's about the newest thing I got.
It's all good. So we can jump right into all the goodies and
what you want to talk about? You want to talk about that fandom? You want to talk about that Halloween? Where we going first? DC?
You know
we going comics or movies?
Here's what I'll say. We'll stay on the topic of 80s things and jump right into either Chucky or Halloween. You roll the dice. You take a pick. We'll dive into either one of them.
How about Chucky? Let's go.
Chucky!
Just go. Go Chuck. It's crazy that we didn't even plan it this way, but we're talking about like Michael Myers, Chucky, RoboCop, Beverly Hills Cop, like all these things came out like in the same eras. That's crazy.
Here for Chucky. I'm just curious.
God. Yeah, and I'm like, was that also 80s for the first one? I want to say 90. I want to say 90. Was that like 89, 90 for the first song?
Let's check it out. Drum roll, please.
It was 1988. It was the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah, still the 80s. Told you, man, the 80s.
Wait. When was the first? Now, Halloween was the 70s, right? I want to say
the first Halloween.
I think it was like 79. I think I want to say 79 because it wasn't too far.
78.
Oh, 78. Yeah, I was very close. Yeah, I figured it was like 78, 79 in that sense because it's a look.
We round that to the nearest, and we're still in the 80s.
We're still in the 80s. Because by the time that means, wait, when did Halloween 2 come out? Halloween 2 came out what? It also come out in the 70s?
No, that wasn't the 70s. Halloween 2.
A bunch of years to make a sequel.
Let's see. When was Halloween?
While we wait for that.
Oh, that was 1981. We didn't have to wait that long at all. It was 1981.
So 3 years later. See Hollywood? You don't have to make a sequel the same year. Like it's okay. Like let it simmer.
And technically, since like I know we didn't talk about Halloween Kills yet, but everybody knows from the trailer if you saw the first Halloween movie of the remakes that they made. Technically, they don't really make sense if you think about like him not burning in the house, because you made me think of Halloween 2 when he got burnt the fuck up at the end of the movie. My man was roasting like a marshmallow. If you remember that,
yeah, he broke out of the ambulance and he literally killed the dude with his thumb, like in there, like really shoved his thumb into the person's head, and then they had that Sandman, Mr. Sandman, Jimmy. That was a song.
Crazy.
So, Chucky, what we're talking about with Chucky has moved over from the theater down to Netflix and now onto Sci-Fi. Now, I'll tell you straight up, when I first heard about this, I was scared because I didn't think I had an assumption of Sci-Fi that was completely wrong. Sci-Fi channel. No, it's a good channel. They've upgraded quite a bit. They've upgraded to a point where it made sense for this to be on there. And I'm glad that they picked it up because this
remember too, it also comes on USA. It comes on Sci-Fi and USA. So I'm guessing they're affiliated with the same company. It's the
same company, USA and Sci-Fi. We know a girl from Sci-Fi.
That's true.
So Chucky has moved on into television series. How many? I think this series is going to be 6 episodes. I think.
I want to say. Well, no, I think actually more than that. I think it's supposed to be like 9.
Like 9? Okay. First episode here, we got a pilot episode which does a fantastic job, in my opinion, of giving you what would make sense for Chucky in this day and age. So you, and from my 2 cents of this episode, without like spoiling a whole bunch of stuff, but there's obviously going to be some spoilers in here. So if you're listening to this review at this point and you haven't watched it, it's actually free on YouTube. So hit pause and go watch the episode and bring your ass back over here. Just open up another tab.
Watch this whole episode. Let us spoil it for you, and then go watch.
I mean, you can do that dumb shit, or you can, whatever you want to do. It's all up to you. But so for me, I really enjoyed the fact that basically you have this, bullied kid who is essentially a fanboy. He's an artist who likes to make things with dolls, but he's also
like just a symbol, which is not uncommon of a young boy. Because I did that shit when I was young, like melting GI Joes in the microwave and taking shit apart. So that's not uncommon for.
That's not uncommon at all. It's definitely cool in the sense of like, we know that there's something more to it because we learned, like, we'll getting to that. You got this kid who's like bullied in school, who also listens to a podcast for what do you call it, for like serial killers and talking about like,
was it like Haddonfield something? It's something to do with Haddonfield.
Not Haddonfield. That's Halloween.
I mean, not Haddonfield.
Hackensack.
That's, look, I knew it started with an H.
What's interesting is like within the same week we got 2 serial killers in different forms in New Jersey, Haddonfield and Hackensack. Because I wasn't sure at first, and then I looked at the other ones and I was like, oh yeah. I remember now, yes, when they had to go and get like something from like Chucky's body in one of the movies, they went to New Jersey, and I was like, okay,
yeah, they went to Hackensack, New Jersey.
Exactly. So it's like
they didn't actually tell you they're in New Jersey. Everybody's just saying Hackensack.
No, they just kept saying Hackensack. So I'm like, all right. So it's basically like if there's another Hackensack besides New Jersey where we live, okay, then you got a shout out too. But just so you know, we're better than you. Just so you know. But yeah, they have this young boy who is his mom is his mom dead, or is she not around?
Yeah, she passed away in a car accident.
Okay, she passed away in a car accident.
And I only remember that part because there's a scene where he says, "I wish it was you," because he doesn't have the best relationship with his dad, because his dad thinks he's wasting his time with the the art stuff, and also doesn't like the fact that the main character in this series is gay, like openly gay. And I also noticed from the very beginning of the show that there are multiple openly gay characters right away. Now, personally, for me, I'm pretty sure there are people who are like, oh, here we go. They're going to try to just put it in our face because it's trendy. And I feel different only because not that. I feel like, well, it's like, well, not a first for like gay people starring the show, but it is like, first featured television debut basically of Chucky. But it is also like another, I would say, another victory for people from like the LGBTQ, because there aren't that many shows with like the main characters, gay or something like. So it's like another win column. Yeah. Like, hey, this Chucky, in a way, look, Chucky gives back in more than one way. He's entertaining us by murdering people, and at the same time,
wants to be a bro.
Yeah, and at the same time, he's helping to make history.
I mean, that's pretty cool. I love that somewhere within there, just speaking on that particular topic for a moment. 2 things there. One, Chucky actually makes a statement on LGBT that is very accepting. It's just like, hey, like, if you kind of love who you're gonna love, like, you're gonna mess with somebody about it, like, fuck.
Oh yeah, and he was like, and that's okay.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, that's okay. Whoever you're gonna love. That's like, okay, cool. Like, Chucky just put it out there, like, straight up. I ain't got no problem with nobody because I'm a damn doll. Like, I'm a human being trapped in a goddamn doll's body. So the interesting thing of that is, the other part of it is this particular series. I said it when this episode went on. This particular series feels very personal for Don Mancina, which is the creator. We met him at AOL when they were doing the Curse of Chucky for Netflix. Is that what the last one was?
Was it Colt or
It's Colt.
Yeah, Colt or Chuck. Yeah, Colt or Chuck. You're right.
So
yeah,
they came and was talking about that, and I know that over the years, if you guys don't know the story, you can go Google it. But there have been some issues with like different Chucky properties being made. That Child's Play one where Mark Hamill did the voice.
We do not speak of such things. We do.
That was not related to Don Mancini.
That didn't happen. Yeah, well, we put that one safely in the same vault as Eric Bana's Hulk, and then we never speak of it again. That's what. Do you notice? Nobody in the nerd community talks about that movie. We don't even petition for Eric Bana to be Hulk. So it's like,
we got the MCU and everything else.
We do. You know what we do when it comes to that? We put it in a tiny little boat, and then we watch that boat sail away. See, just sails away. Bye. And then
for me, I think it's nice that like there is a character. It's funny. There is a character in the show named Donnie, which I kind of find it's funny that it's not the main character, but it's a cousin of the main character. And
the main character is Jake Wheeler. That's the main character.
Jake Wheeler, yeah.
Now, what else is interesting is the dad. I didn't realize that the dad is the guy that starred in Final Destination. Yeah, I'm like, holy crap! I kept staring at the screen like, is that him? And then he plays a double role on this show. He's playing himself and his brother, which is crazy. I was like, it was actually give like a mind fuck because during the dinner scene where they're sitting there, and I'm like, oh, am I going crazy, or did both of those actors look exactly the same? Only to Google it later and find out it's the same person playing two different characters.
Trust me, he only got one check. This is sci-fi. Okay. He's like, and cut. All right, go change your outfit and go sit in that chair over there.
But it definitely, and also it had some similarities to the original movie. I felt like, whereas, well, in the original, Chucky's mom bought Chucky like in a back alley, in a back alley off a bum, basically, who got the toy from the fucking, leftover remnants from the store blowing up. But then in this one, he finds Chucky at a yard sale.
I find that to be interesting because that is essentially what we would find nowadays. I'm a thrifter myself. I go to thrift stores and find great things, not cool things like this, but like I find really cool old school vintage things. Like just today, I was talking to you on the phone, found biker mice from Mars and street sharks.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome.
What an amazing combination of like old school toys.
But tell me that's not that was by you got to give a bravo to Don Mancini. Like what an introduction to bring this character who, like us the fans, we know how fucking terrible Chucky is. Like to know that this innocent kid is just buying this doll so he can go do some more of his art stuff. He has no fucking idea what he's getting himself into by purchasing this doll.
Not at all. It is legitimately funny to watch this guy like purchase an item that like that. It's like, listen, save your money, kid. And he haggled with the lady too. Like, you know what? I'll give you $10 for it or whatever.
Yeah, he did a good job though. She took it.
She took it. Which, sorry, lady, but I guess you've never heard of eBay because I'm pretty sure a doll of that size and that condition, he's in like perfect condition with no box. It's like you gonna sell it?
Well, she was. It looked. I mean, clearly, it just looked like she was trying to just move all the stuff that was there. So she was like, whatever.
She got to support her drug habit,
Oh, and then don't forget that other iconic scene where they sort of recreated the moment with the mom. Remember when the mom in the original is like, talk to me, damn it. She's like, talk to me, I'll throw you in the fire. And he came to life like, you stupid bitch. Like he didn't do that, but he did come to life when the boy was like, talk. And he came to life and he was like, I'm Chuck. What do you say? He said something like, I'm Chucky. Whoop-de-fucking-do or something like that.
well placed profanity and violence in the show. Like all of the kills that happen here, because there are deaths, are nice because of the fact that it is on sci-fi, which is what I was concerned with. But at the same time, spoilers, the dad dies and is electrocuted, and the way that they film it makes sense. You have this doll who's literally standing there watching in joy with his face looking got the good guy doll face smiling because he's literally watching the life be shocked out of a man. Like literally. Like that's what he's
the most hilarious part is after that when Jake finds out that Chucky's like, real, and they're having a conversation. It's like, he was my dad. He was a person. And then Chucky was saying like, he was kind of an asshole. He got what he deserved. And then Chucky was like, oh wait, I thought we were talking about the cat. He gave no fucks about the dad. He gave no fucks about killing the dad. He was talking about the cat.
That was a beautiful moment. I just like, wow.
I knew when that cat sat on his head, I knew he was gonna kill that cat.
I'm like, yeah, that's not gonna go.
Well, from a behind the scenes point of view, I don't know. You probably could look it up on YouTube. But I always wondered when they filmed the show, is Brad Dourif actually on set at all, or does he just do most of his scenes, from a sound booth just to provide the voice of Chucky? Does he even need it on set?
I mean, it'd be interesting to know, just because, like, then you have something to act off of besides just a lifeless doll.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I wonder, is it more like they film everything else and then they make the scenes with Chucky, and then he's in a booth watching him and just adding the voice to bring it all to life? I wonder, or is he actually on set doing that? I wonder.
I wish your show came out before you guys got a chance to meet him in August, because that would have been a great question to ask him. Like, yeah. Or just in general, like, you could have asked him, like, hey, like, you filmed this already. Like, when you were filming the scene, any of your scenes.
It's funny. I didn't actually ask him that much because I was just too in awe that I'm standing in front of him. And literally, when he was about to autograph my pop, he's like, "Hey, how you doing?" And he's talking, but his regular voice sounds like Chucky. So he's like, "Hey, how are you?" And I'm like, "You're the voice of Chucky."
See, that's the thing. Like, it's hard, and that's one of the reasons why we wind up meeting some of these celebrities multiple times, is because you the first time is usually just when I first met Bret Hart. That was my first like choke up moment with a celebrity, because I'm thinking,
this like you're like someone. Oh, I did manage to ask. I think I told you I managed to ask his daughter a question about the show, because I was asking her like, how she got involved in it, which she gave me a stare at first when it's like, how did I get involved? I'm like, I know it's your dad or whatever, but I meant like, was it always her intent, to get into acting and stuff? And she said, the bug kind of bit her and all that stuff. But what was I? Oh shit! What the hell? What was I gonna say? Oh, but besides that, what the heck? I done lost my train of thought because that fucking
Rowdy had a notification. You were talking to
Brad. I was talking to Fiona Dourif, and I was asking her about the characters. Like, I was saying, like, is this a brand new show, like without you guys, or is it continuation? But she was saying it's a new story, but they're sprinkled throughout this new story. They are definitely, that's what she took. We are definitely connected to what's going on. So that's why I was thinking, like, I never forgot the fact with Cult of Chucky that at this point, Chucky learned how to put his consciousness in more than one thing. So that's why I'm saying, like, the doll that's with Jake, I'm like, is that just one of him? And we're going to have multiple stories with different Chucky dolls, or like how,
I feel like it's written this way on purpose, because Don Mancino knows that there has been multiple iterations in the last couple of years, and we don't know exactly where in the timeline the Chucky TV show takes place. The one thing that I know a lot of Chucky fans, including myself, are excited about is the fact that the way the show ended was we got a chance to see Charles Lee Ray as a child. So for the first time ever, this show is very much going to be about Chucky. Like,
they're gonna. It looks like while we're going with Jake Wheeler and his story, we're gonna learn origins about Chucky. Well, that's dope. That also seems like what they were going for a tiny bit in Halloween Kills. They're trying to go a little origin-y throughout certain parts too. So that's cool. That I actually kind of. And I'm actually kind of for that. I like when they try to add more layers and backstory to, Well,
it's an untold story. Like, it's literally an untold story. There's none of the other movies. Listen, we met Charles Lee Ray once he died in the toy store. That's it. Like that's it. That's the only time we ever seen that actor be him. And
so like it would be beautiful. So it actually would be beautiful for them to continue that throughout the show. And let's see, and sort of do it like Bates Motel. How in Bates Motel you basically get to see what's the name's character? I forget the fucking guy's name. But was it him? What the hell is his name in those movies? Oh God, I'm drawing a brain fart, but you know who I'm talking about. But like, Norman Bates.
Norman Bates.
Yeah, like we get to, the awesome thing about the Bates Motel series was us seeing him from a younger age and seeing how he progressed to, fucking Psycho. So I wonder if they're gonna do the same thing with Chucky. Like while they're telling this new fresh story, they're also gonna show the origins of him from a kid to adult to how he, became a fucking massive serial killer.
I'm not going to put it over the fact that I personally think that this show is not only the origin of Chucky, but this show is also going to be the origin of a new serial killer named Jake Wheeler.
Oh, you think Jake Wheeler is going to become a serial killer?
I just feel like there's something, like you could have like the kid element of like, there's just this kid that's trapped in this unlikely situation. And over time, once he gets with another good guy, then he'll be able to, it's funny I say good guy, but like another, like Andy, he'll get with like Andy in the show, which called him, there was a moment where Andy called him on the phone asking about his eBay listing for the Chucky.
That was a weird ass phone call. Cause I'm like, why wasn't you just flat out up front with what you trying to do, brother, instead of calling this kid?
Well, I can tell you why. The reason why Andy probably did that was, one, on the phone, it didn't sound like he was by himself. And two, you don't know if it's 2021. You don't know if this kid answered the phone and he's on speakerphone and Chucky's sitting right there. And all they got to do is say, look out for the dog who's, now he's trying to slit the kid's throat, because now the kid knows what's going on. And then he gets on the phone and it's like, Andy, you made me do this. Like,
that's true.
So he wants to like talk in code because he has no idea who's.
You know what I forgot too? I forgot from Cult of Chucky. I forgot where the actual original Chucky is. Wasn't he like? Didn't Andy have him like locked up somewhere?
I don't know. I think for me, what I'm doing in this particular show, I know it's like I said. I know there's been a few iterations that have come after like the old movies we know. And they may be connected to this, but I would say
no. They're definitely connected to this.
But what I'll say is, for the sake of this show, I'm gonna pay attention to the show, and then I'll go back and fit it into the timeline somewhere else. Because if I try to sit here and go crazy watching Netflix, going, wait, is that the boy from the? Wait, he's the teacher from. It's gonna be like insane.
Oh, okay.
I can't do that.
Wait, did you see the last one? Because this show.
I've seen every Chucky that it was
ever. Okay. Because I was gonna say, it definitely seems like a direct, connection from the last one. Because I'm like.
Evidence of that yet. That's what I'm saying.
Well, no, I mean the fact that they're sprinkled in the cast tells you, I'm like, yeah, there's probably a direct connection, that like from the last movie.
You may be right, but we also might be getting something else, which is like kind of like Halloween Kills, which is the next movie we'll talk about. It may be where Halloween Kills is going to be a trilogy in which they basically do a retelling of the story from part two on. So part one is canon. One is canon.
I'm like, for me, I feel like they're all gonna be canon because I thought they were all pretty good. So like, I know what they're trying. I know what they're doing, but I'm like, I'm not gonna dismiss the other ones because I like the other movies.
No. It's not a dismissal. I'm just telling you what these are. Like the new trilogy with older Laurie Strode is a new retelling of these movies, because you didn't see her again until in the old movies that we saw. You didn't see her again until H2O, and then like she died in one of the other movies or whatever. Like I think she like got stabbed and fell off the roof in slow motion. Like, yeah,
I remember that one. Was that H2O or the one that came after? I don't even fucking remember.
I was definitely probably the one that came after, because they had to explain to me why, like.
Oh wait, you're right. It was the one that came after because remember at the end of H2O, she beheads
chopped his fucking head off.
She chopped his fucking head off, and then we found out it wasn't actually him. It was the fucking ambulance driver, and he like crushed my man's trachea and put the mask on him. Like,
which is like interesting because it's one of those things where like somebody looked at that scene and said, oh, him reaching out to her could be as simple as like, please don't do this. When the way we're looking at it on there, if anybody remembers that last scene, he's reaching out like, please, like my sister Lori. Because the reason why I say that this also is a retelling is that Laurie Strode and Michael Myers are not related in this one.
Yeah, they're not. And I'm also gonna put it out there too. I'm like, there's a lot of white privilege in this movie because she murdered the shit out of somebody and then went on with her life. But I mean, that's just me.
Come on.
I mean, Laurie Strode. I mean, if you think about it, like she beheaded this dude, and oh shit, they found out it wasn't the right dude. She went on with her life. And I don't know if you ever saw the sketches on SNL with them Trumps when they had like if Donald Trump was a black man. But I feel like it would be the same way. It's like if it was a black guy that beheaded her and they oh shit, that wasn't him. It'd be like, I'm under arrest. Okay. Go
ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Yes, that's
especially the new rolling into Halloween Kills we're talking about. There's a lot of white privilege in this movie because I'm like, it's a lot of scenes with people just running amok, doing whatever they want to do. Ain't nobody really stopping them.
I will say though, it is a small town technically, so the police aren't really, for whatever reason, aren't equipped to handle this town. Like this town seems to me like it could just be overrun by the people, and the police would be unable.
But
to
I'm
stop
like, whatever happened to calling reinforcements from another town? I'm like, is that not a thing in Haddonfield?
It's not a thing in a horror movie. In that sense, and for this,
they're like, Ronnie, we don't have the budget to call in other people from other towns. we just got 6 cops, and that's it.
If you remember, at the end of either 4 or 5, I can't remember which one it was. There was an actual scene at the end of a movie where cops did roll up and riggedy rock shock his ass and shot him down a hill.
No, remember, actually, some of those weren't cops. Some of those people were like this movie. Some of those people that were fed up and decided to take the law into their own hands.
Yeah, it was they like gunned him down, and he literally fell over. And then you saw in the next movie, he literally fell because this dude is Michael Myers is a fucking demon. Like he's not human. Like there is no way.
That's why I say, if anybody realized nobody ain't try to cut my man up, put a grenade down his shorts, something like, I mean.
But you gotta ask yourself though, in a small town where the cops can barely handle what's going on, who the hell just has that laying around? People just don't have a grenade.
Somebody gotta have something. You gotta have some old Army veterans or something somewhere. You know who we need? You need to call in Pinhead from Hellraiser. He would probably kill Michael Myers in a couple seconds.
I mean, that's a whole nother like movie, so it's not even like something that we're talking about.
Well, I mean, you couldn't call upon him anyway because he'd murder everything. But
I mean, it's the fact that you called upon him means
because remember you gotta solve the little puzzle of the box to even summon him, and then he'd be like, "Thank you so much, Ronnie." Yeah, I'm like,
worst possible person to call. He's gonna spin out all those chains and rip your fucking flesh from your mouth. Like, what are you doing? You're gonna be
like, I just wanted him to kill Mike.
You're gonna be just like that dude in the movie with no skin, walking around like, "This is the way I am now." Like, what are you doing?
Shit.
I called him to stop Michael, and Michael like, yeah, Hellraiser is one of my friends. Like,
and then okay, like starting from the beginning of Halloween Kills, my first gripe with the film, like overall, I like the film. I wouldn't say it's the strongest entry in like the whole Michael Myers movies, but I liked it. But at the beginning, where they're kind of showing you like going back to the origins of the other cop, the cop that was in the hospital room with Laurie.
Yeah.
And I get all that part, but then like they show when he was younger, and like him and his partner went into the Myers house, and then Michael Myers like sneak attacks the other cop, and he accidentally shoots him. I'm like, yo, how did my man get into like? So we just do on the job training? Like he ain't get no training. My man didn't shoot. He didn't shoot at all. Like he shot his partner by accident in the throat, and then he had a clear opportunity to shoot Mike when he was just standing there, and he was like, and he just kept talking. Yeah, don't do it. I'm afraid. So I'm like, yo, what type of, I'm guessing, I mean, this was what, the 80s? So I'm guessing they didn't have strong police training back then.
Late 70s, early 80s, yeah.
Yeah, so I guess they didn't have strong police training back there, because my man shouldn't even have been in the field if he not ready to pull the fucking trigger.
I mean, essentially, sadly, I'll just leave this here and then we'll move on. Sadly, I wish there were more of that particular cop.
Yeah. I mean, come on. I'm not talking about that.
On the draw when it comes
yes, I get the serve and protect thing, and yeah, he's thinking I'm supposed to try everything else first. Shooting someone's supposed to be my last resort. But my man, how many people but I'm like, my man, come in for a minute. How many 6 foot fucking 4 people walking around wearing a jumpsuit and a fucking Halloween mask, bruh? Like,
I don't know, man. It just seems to me like that's a tough call. But yeah, he definitely. And then the sad thing is that like they showed in the movie, and the cop revealed later on is he's like laying in a hospital bed. Basically, what did they do? He shot his partner in the throat, and then they were like trying to like going, okay, so he shot himself, and it's like.
Yeah, like he just fucking died. They're like, oh shit, how are we gonna explain this?
Gunfire, give me your gun, and it's like, God damn it, the corruption is real. Like,
I mean, then he fucked up twice in that movie. That's like, yo, somebody fired this. How is he still a cop? He fucked up twice. He fucked up and shot and killed one of his own boys. Then they go outside and Dr. Loomis is going to shoot Michael Myers in the back of the head. And then he went, no, what? He just killed you. What?
Just did it.
You know what was supposed to happen in that moment? Loomis should have turned around and shot his ass. Like, hey, yo, my man, you fucking up progress. Boom.
I mean, to be fair, yes, he would stop if I'm not mistaken, Dr. Loomis wasn't a police officer. So
no, he wasn't a police officer. But correct. Still, I'm just saying though, you just watched my man try to murder your partner upstairs. So at this point, you got to remember, we are not at the point of, yes, let's show mercy. He tried to fucking murder somebody.
He tried to murder you. What are you doing? Like,
and then this is what kills me about that cop, and then we can move on from that. Yeah, before y'all even caught him, you got word from other cops that this motherfucker killed other people. Yo, we looking for this guy. He's armed and fucking dangerous. Okay, cool. Shoot to kill. He armed and dangerous. Shoot to kill. That's all you should have done. At this point, like, how do you get like? Think about it. Me and you are cops. We get a radio. We got a serial killer. He's already killed 8. He's in the move in the neighborhood. If you see him, approach with caution. Armed and considerably dangerous. Okay, cool. Click, click. It's like, yo, why is it even a thought process to?
I mean, I understand. This movie overall, I think. The craziness of people rallying together from the very beginning of this movie, they set this movie up to say that people in Haddonfield are fed up with what Michael Myers, the boogeyman, has done to their lives. And they're going to do something about it. And it's funny because all these years later, you get a kid who is an actual 80s star from Breakfast Club, Anthony Michael Hall, being the guy who's like, rallying. It's funny. That guy went from the nerd, the freaking brain in Breakfast Club to being the freaking bully in Edward Scissorhands. Yes, we remember you. We remember you, Anthony Michael Hall. That's why you got shanked just like in that movie. And you got shanked in this movie just well, Michael Myers as well. So just remember, every time Michael C. Hall wants to be a bad guy, somebody's around the corner with a knife. to shake
Well,
his ass.
I mean, in this one, he's not particularly a bad guy. He's just trying to,
Is he though?
you know. I mean,
I'm so,
their whole thing of we're fed up, we're gonna take the thing into our own hand.
evil
For
dies
me,
tonight.
For me, that part also didn't kind of make sense when the cops said 40 years ago he killed my daughter. Yo, so y'all fed up after 40 years, not 10, not 5, not a year? It took y'all 40 years to be like, that's enough.
No,
Like,
wait.
what?
You forgot something. Michael Myers, in this timeline, Michael Myers has been released, which is why when they show him a little bit without his mask, he's an old man. He was released. Right. So we're talking about.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. When he was a little boy, that's right. Okay,
yeah, we're talking about a bunch of people with PTSD. So it's a bunch of PTSD people charging together, going to go try to storm, something.
But then they don't even come fully prepared, man. Like y'all ain't even prepared. They got rocks and sticks. Like let's get them.
I'm gonna tell you right
now. And correct me if I'm wrong, but there's another part in the that they mentioned from the beginning when we get to the black cop with the cowboy hat, and I think he said like 11. I think he said like 11 EMT people were murdered or something like that. And it's like, all right, what? Like one man murdered 11 people? Okay, cool. Like, so that wasn't like, okay, so if you're gonna do if you're gonna do the evil dies tonight, all right, cool. We standing. How many people died? 11. One person did that? Like, I mean, imagine we weren't brothers, and you found out I was like some ninja master, and like, oh, did you hear about Ronnie? He beat 25 guys in a fight. Whoa, just one person? Would you be ready to fight me on one-on-one if I beat the shit out of 25 guys? So it's like, no. So this guy so they telling you through dialogue in the movie, my man slaughtered like 8 to 11 people by himself, and they had weapons. It's like, so I would just think that somebody amongst this group would go, hey, if we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this right. Hey, Sheriff, we're gonna need access to the most powerful firearms y'all got. And then why is that? And then also, why is that not the cops' thought process? It's like, you know what? Evil ends tonight. Ding, 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 ding. They got the pea shooters, bro. It's time to bring out the fucking
with the
shotguns, with the bazookas, like calling the National Guard.
There was only one person in this movie that had a shotgun. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I didn't like her character, which was Laurie's granddaughter. I didn't like her granddaughter.
No, I like her character, but I just thought that she didn't even use it. Like she tried to, she got to use it twice. She shot a fucking pumpkin in the closet, and then the second time he deflected that shit like it wasn't nothing. She tried to shoot it, but that's right there. If we were teaching a class, that right there tells you that some hot shit will hurt Mike. Because she tried to shoot him with that shotgun, he deflected that shit fast as shit. Because if she would have hit him with it, that shit would have hurt, and probably would have took a chunk out of his ass. That's what I'm saying. Like, yo, you need like them fucking guns from Gears of War. Like, you need some firepower, man. Y'all coming with these. They coming with the pea shooters.
I'm gonna tell you what pissed me off about her, right? I understand her rage because she just lost her dad. Like she lost her dad in the first movie or whatever. She got her grandmother's like stabbed up and her mom's going crazy and trying to maintain everything. And she's getting caught up in the rally cry of evil dies tonight. And then the stupid boy that, comes in there and is like, we're going to go down to my dad. We're going to go get him. And I swear I'm watching this movie and I'm like, oh, these white people about to die. Like this
I mean, not only that, but then it's like nobody. I get it. Adrenaline. I get it. Adrenaline's high. You're scared. So I get it. But nobody's using like logical thinking. First and foremost, man, woman, couple. He fucked up in the other movie and he was with the other chick. He came back. I'm sorry. So she hugged him, which kind of sounded like she forgave him. You forgave him. Cool. So is my first thought process to put my woman in harm's way? Or is it, stay back at the hospital or take her to a fucking safe location? You bringing her to the boogeyman? Like what?
Wait. And then here's the stupid thing. They all agree on this. Like, all right, we're gonna bring these young kids along with us. And then when the dude gets to the house, I don't know what the fuck his plan was, but what was it? I'm going to go find Mike in his house and die? Because he's like, I'm going in the house by myself. You got to stay out here.
I'm going in the house by myself with this one little pea shooter. And he's like,
a little girl. I'm like,
my man, they found my man stuffed in the attic. Yo,
how did that happen so fast?
How did he even get up there? Like, yo.
What happened, bro? What happened? What happened? Please help me understand what happened here, because I don't know.
Oh man! And then I know we like jump back forward. Then it was the black couple. Y'all let me down in this film. Come on, black people. Here's the formula for black people in a horror movie. We either supposed to die first, or we the fucking survivors. How the hell there's somebody in our car? Okay. And then they got in this car with these other people, and then suddenly everybody forgot all fucking common sense when when Mike jumped on top of the car. Get in the driver's seat and drive the fucking car. What are you? Yo, you got a human being standing on top of a car. Let's see how well he can balance if we fucking drive off. Nobody's thinking that. Instead, they're sitting in the car like, what? And then they start getting picked off one by one. It's fucking crazy.
My favorite part of that whole thing that I rewinded because I watched this on Peacock. I rewinded it because I knew that this lady with the 6-shooter was gonna waste those bullets, and she was gonna get to a point where he got out that car, and she went like click, 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 click. And he just pushed her back like, stab, bitch, stab. Like, yo, she's an old lady. What are you doing?
Oh my God. And then for some reason, and then let me get this straight. The black guy in the back, that was the nurse. Instead of, so I'm in the back seat. He's stabbing the shit out of this chick. Instead of getting out of the car and running your motherfucking, like Usain Bolt, I'm gone. Instead of doing that,
Tom Cruise
he tries to choke. He tries to choke this guy. I'm like, first and foremost, I know it's fear, I know it's adrenaline, but my man, he not only did he break the window, he almost pulled this chick out of the fucking car onto the roof of the car with one hand, which automatically tells me, yo, this guy's strong as shit. So he's trying to strangle. I'm like, we all know that this guy's gonna die because he's trying to strangle Michael Myers, and we know Michael Myers.
Plucked him, like he killed him in a weird way. He like took a butcher knife and like shoved it in his cheek through his eye.
He shoved it here. He shoved it in his neck.
Oh, it was that long? Oh,
he shoved it in his neck. Then he took that shit out and stabbed him in the eye. And I was like, oh my God, love my man.
She got the gun, like she got off. And then she does something, pow, shoots herself in the face. And I'm like,
let me get this straight, because there's a lot of stupid people in this movie. And we all know that these characters are in horror movies. Like, it just makes sense. Let me get this straight. So so that's happening. She's running towards the car, shooting. If I'm going to shoot at the car, why not aim at the engine? I mean, your boyfriend's dead. You know the other lady did. I mean, at that point, cool. Maybe if I shoot the engine, I can blow this fucking or the gas tank, or shoot the gas tank, I can blow this fucking car up with this fucking bastard in it. Instead, she just goes spontaneously running up to the car. Once again, Mike just deflects her like he did the shotgun. Like, hits her and makes her shoot her own damn self in the head. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me, right? I know that Danny McBride and a couple other people wrote the script. I want to give a shout out to them because I was like, yo, who would have thought Danny McBride, just like Jordan Peele, would be doing horror movies?
I appreciate it. Keep up with it. It's funny, out of that scene, there was a did you see the little Easter egg that was in that scene?
Yeah, which scene?
In the whole scene there where the kids are outside, and of course in these movies, kids are just all assholes. Because it's like,
I don't even understand that at all. Like, these kids
like, hey, somebody's out here murdering somebody. Whatever, we're having fun on the film.
Yeah, they're out there like, somebody just get murdered, and then they got murdered.
Like, wow, Michael Myers murdered some kids in it. But there was the Easter egg was all of their masks were the ones from the season of the witch.
Oh yeah, I mean
Pumpkin,
that was
the
that.
doll.
Yeah, that they did resemble that. Yeah, okay, I could
No,
see that.
legitimately those masks. The only reason
Oh,
I
it
know
was
is
those
I have
masks.
those NECA toys. Those are the three. It's the witch, the pumpkin, and the skull. Literally
Oh,
the same
cool.
costumes. And I was like, wow, that's a cute little Easter egg you just like sprinkled in there. It's like, hey, here's the costumes from that shitty movie that doesn't
From
have
that
Michael.
from the Silver Shamrock Company. I remember
Yeah,
that because I remember the song with the dun, 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 Silver Shamrock.
yeah. On the it's funny on the NECA box. I still have them in the box. They on the back of the box. It's not over here. I got it in the other room. On the back of the box, it says like a product of Silver Shamrock instead of NECA, and I'm like, oh, that's
Oh
cool.
wow, yeah, that's fucking scary. I
Yeah.
actually thought that movie wasn't that bad. It was, and I was very
It just
confused
didn't
when
need
it
to be
first.
connected to Halloween at all. So.
Yeah, I was like, okay, all right. So the first time in horror movie in horror movie history, we just gonna make a sequel that ain't got shit to do with the. So people in the theater confused as all shit. When Michael Myers
I was
showed
gonna
up.
see Michael Myers. Like,
Yeah, Michael Myers. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, I think that was my own reaction the first time I watched the third one. I was waiting for Michael Myers to show up, and we like halfway through the movie, and I'm confused as shit.
I'm gonna tell you straight up. When I'm watching this movie and like, there's not much more story than what we were just talking about. Laurie Strode, just so you guys know, big spoilers. Laurie Strode spends the whole movie in the hospital, the whole movie. So, yeah, that you.
But you know what? She gets she gets a pass with this movie because that made first off, this movie feels like a filler movie. It feels like it's a filler movie to like a bigger ending type movie that's coming. But I would say I only give her a pass for this because it made sense. Like she got stabbed really bad in the last one. So it made sense. Like there was no
that this is the Matrix Reloaded. Is that what you're saying? It's just a filler to fill in.
Yeah, it's just
before the big ending. Okay.
Yeah, before the big ending, which I don't know. Like I don't know if they're planning to finally end the Michael Myers franchise. If so, I already say that probably Mike and Laurie's gonna die. That's what I would say.
I'm gonna put it to you this way. I'm gonna say this to you, and I'm gonna see these are some famous words that I heard Eddie Murphy say recently in a interview with Kevin Hart and Arsenio Hall. Ask yourself again if that's the last one. Go ahead and ask yourself again.
Well, no, I don't think
this
it.
company
Well,
is going to go ahead and give up that cash cow.
I don't think it's the last one, but I think like maybe for Jamie Lee Curtis and like all of these collaborators, maybe this is closing the door on Laurie Strode's story. So if we get a remake or reboot in the future, maybe it'll be a new Michael Myers story with like new characters. That's what I mean.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like Michael Myers, the franchise will live on for however long they want to keep running this Halloween thing going. Like I'm just waiting for it's because it's gonna happen. Like I'm gonna put it to you like this: if they got Keanu Reeves to decide to be Neo again, it ain't gonna be that hard to get Robert Englund to put the damn claw back on.
Okay? Oh yeah,
it's gonna happen.
I mean, because what's her name is in her 60s now too. So I'm like, either you kill her, or I feel like because her life has been so tormented by Michael Myers, it would actually be better for her to actually have a happy ending. Like for her to have an ending, like ironically, like Trading Places, where she's laying out on the beach or something and gets to enjoy the rest of her life. Because her whole fucking life has just been fucking misery thanks to this guy.
I'm gonna tell you straight up right here, right now. It's been 2 of these movies. I'm still rooting for Michael Myers. Okay, I'm still rooting for Michael. I watch these movies.
Michael Myers is who we come for. Like, let's face it, if you're a fan of horror, Michael Myers is who you come for. But you would clap and like to see the good guy win in the end. Like that's in this particular type of story where like this motherfucker has ruined her life. So it would be fitting if she got a good ending.
Like, I would say I would accept her escaping him. That's it. That's all.
Not escaping, because like, if you think about the whole theme behind this movie, it's like, it ends like she, it's you tormented most of my life. Like she's been in hiding and all this stuff. I feel like for her, a more fitting ending is for her to actually kill this motherfucker. And in a brutal ass way too. If they kill Michael Myers in the next movie, it has to be in some brutal ass way for all the fuck. It's got to be like,
Oh man,
it's got
no
this
revenge.
is for
No revenge.
this is for Tom, this is for Tommy. This is for it. For it's got to be like Goku with the spirit bomb. It's for all these motherfuckers that you took down. Like, yo, that lady, the black lady, that was like looked like the caretaker to the white. Ain't no reason that lady got.
No, that was her husband, man. That was
her husband.
Oh my god!
Oh, it looked like it's the outfit she had on. The outfit she had on made it look like she was a caretaker.
No, she was dressed in Halloween costume.
Oh, they were wearing a costume. Oh, see, look, I gotta watch that again. That scene made me think that she was like a home health aid or something.
Oh my god, you like her a mammy over here. Like, whoa, what are you doing?
Yo, I thought that because I thought he was joking around when he was like, hey, when he was talking about, like giving up some loving. That's why I was like, oh, I thought he was just flirting around, but that's his home.
Again, this movie, just like many other things, is showing more of reality, which is there are interracial couples, there are gay couples, there are everything. There's everything out there. So these are the normal things that when we look at TV and it's been nothing but heterosexual relationships, that's a lie.
Oh, and also that part too. I'm glad I brought up that part. What happened with the door? Did she suddenly forget how to open the door? Because, we saw her struggle, like when he was killing the husband. We saw her struggle to get the door open, but then she just stopped and just turned around and looked at him. And I was like, so we just give up? Like, what? I saw that because all I saw that she never took the lock off the door. So I was like, if I was picking the director's brain, I would say like, did she just stop and give up because her husband died? So like, it's no sense of me living too. Let me go out with my husband. Or was that just like?
I think that was fear and panic. I think that's fear. If you
are like, she was trying to get the door open, then she just kind of stopped trying, and she was just looking at him, and then allowing him enough time to break the fucking lantern thing and shank her in the fucking neck.
No, that dude straight went break a bottle and jam it in there.
I'm like, yo, you know how brutal that is a way to die? Like, I've been cut by that glass before. That glass is sharp as shit. There ain't no coming back from that shit.
Here's another, you want to say brutal? She was brutal. She literally sat there and watched her husband die and she bled out. But at the same time, if you remember that scene, the next scene, Michael Myers wanted to try out the different size knives that they had in the kitchen.
I don't even know what that was. Maybe he was thinking of redecorating his place and getting a new knife set.
He's like, small knife, stab. Big knife, stab. Bigger knife, stab. And he's like, oh, this is a really big knife. I gotta hold on to this. And that's what he had.
Meanwhile, that dude was dead from what he did to him at the door. So I'm like, yo, this is just overkill right here, Mike. What is going on?
That's legit what that was. Like he overkilled. That was my only thing too. Like I enjoy Michael Myers' deaths. Like I'm sadistic when I watch these movies. I enjoy Michael Myers' deaths and seeing how creative Michael Myers gets and getting his hands on you. Because it's one of those things where you're sitting there and you're literally watching.
If you say that, the most asshole death in that entire movie where Michael Myers was a dick was the part where the boyfriend and girlfriend are, when they're in the house, when they go in the house and they find the dude's dad stuffed in the attic. And then the chick tries to shoot him with the shotgun. Mike blocks that shit like, fuck out of here. Knocks her down the steps. And then he proceeds to beat the shit out of the fucking her boyfriend inside of the banister. But no, that's not the asshole part. The asshole part was she's at the bottom of the stairs with her leg hurt. Mike slowly walks around the banister, comes down to the middle of the steps, looks at her, and then breaks my man's neck. And I'm like, yo, what? I'm like, that was not, I think that my man was dying anyway. So that was not even fucking necessary, bro. Cause like we saw the little bit of blood coming out of his mouth. Like he was like, I felt like in that scene, Mike was like, oh, that's your boy? Oh, you think y'all gonna get together after this? Snap, crackle, pop, right? Like,
He was just like, looking at him like, oh, look at that twisted key.
Yeah, like that was kind of brutal.
To me,
but yeah.
Okay, so reality-wise, I would say if you really want to encapsulate Michael Myers in general, forget about Brock Lesnar. This dude is legit the beast incarnate.
Yeah.
Because the fact that this human being that he just destroyed a few seconds ago was actually making sounds annoyed him enough to go, I have to stop this from happening. Like, that's it.
Yeah,
and like that was his whole thing with everybody, was just, listen, like, you got injured, you should probably just lay there, because he's
so
not
like so like in terms of rating of that movie, I give it kind of a 7 out of 10, but that shit gets a 25 in brutality.
25 brutality.
25 in brutality.
You can't, but right before we go to the next thing, you can't skip past one of my very favorite scenes of this whole movie, which is the end, baby, where it all culminates. So there's a moment here where they take Michael Myers' mask, and you see like the back of his head, you don't see his face, which I love, because I was like, please don't show his face. I don't want to see his face. Yes, I know what the actor looks like, but when it's in the movie, I don't want to see what this guy looks like, right? They trap him, they run him into a street, and all these cars pull up. Oh shit, they about to get that. I'm gonna give you the hood version. Oh shit, they about to get that on Mike. Look at it, he coming. Oh shit, they got the guns. Anthony Michael Hall sitting there like, yeah, motherfucker, we've been waiting for you. Yeah. And his mask is in the middle of the street. One of the most gangster moves you ever gonna see Michael Myers do in a movie in 2021. No fear in this man's eyes. He walks over, picks up his mask, puts his mask on, looks to the left, looks to the right, and just stands there with his knife.
Like, come on. Now, I want to say that was a hilarious moment too, because they was whooping his ass for a minute. So that part was hilarious. They got a few shots in. They were whooping his ass for a second.
Yeah, because he like trying to shove the knife, and they like shoot, boom, boom, slap, smack, boom. They came all them. They learned from the stupid firefighters who came at him one by one in the beginning of the movie. They came all at once and just mobbed him and knocked him unconscious for a second. Now again, what they messed up in that moment? Here's where they fucked up. When the first time they had him down, I would have took a car or a truck, ran over that nigga legs, leave it there. We gonna leave it there, because now you can't get up at all. Okay, now you can't get up at all. Remember the buzzsaw from the beginning with my man? Bring me that buzzsaw right quick. And take it to my man's head. Credits. Halloween Kills. Because that shit is a wrap, for real. Hey, yo, like, wait, you see somebody that, hey, let me get that buzzsaw. That's what I'm telling you, man. Maybe one day, maybe we can do the shit ourselves. We'll get a what if version of Halloween, the black version. Because I don't think that shit would go down the way it did if my man was on 14th Avenue in Newark. I'm gonna tell you, the movie's gonna be real quick, because I'm gonna tell you right here now, if somebody came outside of this house and they walking down the street, Michael Myers, and I see blood on their jumpsuit, blood on their knife, I don't give a shit if I got a weapon in my house or not. I'm not coming out of the house. I'm not going out. But here's the problem with Michael Myers. You can stay home, because he might show up at your place. And he like, oh, you home? He might come in. Are you filming a podcast? Can I kill you? They're like, no, what are you doing? You're like, yeah, oh, shoot, all right. Cut your head off on live television. Like, it's a live stream? It's like, nah, man. So you need some heavy firepower. Like, yeah, I would say if you remade Michael Myers in Newark, New Jersey, with the police officers in Newark, New Jersey, that Mike Myers story would be a lot shorter. Because think about it, like, all right, if something extremely severe happened, knock on wood, like in any town, not even just Newark, any town where the police are involved, it's the same thing. Like what happens in Grand Theft Auto when your stars go up? More cops. Oh, it becomes a problem. And they show up with more powerful shit, right? That's all. Like, yeah, all right, cool, okay, all right. These little pea shooters ain't working. Let's see if the Gatling guns work. Let's see if the tanks work. Like, yo, I'm gonna need the National Guard. I'm gonna need the Army.
yo, bring swords, bring everything.
One quick aside. I will say that, like, even though I enjoyed the brutality of Michael Myers throughout this whole movie, right? I did find it a little bit of a weird choice, the way he killed the people at the end. Because I'm gonna be honest, like, if you guys play Mortal Kombat, I'm going to say that that scene, if you look at the background, the way it's just like complete darkness, white light on like Michael Myers and the person he's doing a brutality killing, it literally looks like fatal. You go on Peacock, play it again. Play that last part where he's killing everybody. The whole town disappears and it's just blackness and white light on him and the person that he's brutally killing. And it feels like a bunch of cut scenes of Michael Myers killing people as his like fatalities in Mortal Kombat. Like, so I feel like I'd love to make a parody of this. I'll literally put the energy bar of Michael Myers there being at a desperate moment, and the guy walks over right before he slashes him, and I put in the code and it says finish him, and I go click, 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 and then he just gets up and legitimately just fatalities
kills the shit out of everybody. Yeah, I can see that.
A weird choice of the way they did it, though. It didn't feel like Mike just got back up and just destroyed some shit. It just felt like everybody somehow just lost their hope, the anger and fear that they had at that moment, because they literally
it's like he killed. Yeah, he started off killing the cop, and then everybody else suddenly it was almost like the NXT roster to the main roster. Suddenly they just forgot how to do all their stuff, and then they just started killing the shit.
And then you got a chance to see Anthony Michael Hall. He got the most brutal death. I forgot what he got his head smashed with.
The baseball bat that
he was carrying around the whole movie. I'm gonna tell you right here now. The minute I saw that baseball bat, I was like, "That's how he's gonna die." I knew right
then. But the ending, but going like I said too about Laurie and for the last one, I think that Laurie Strode. Well, I mean, I could be totally wrong. It is a horror, but if I'm not, I do think that Laurie Strode, being the ending that they gave us to this movie, I feel like Laurie Strode definitely should get a happy ending. Because like her whole life is brutalized by this motherfucker, and then this movie ends.
See my face?
And then this fucking movie ends with I thought that was a dream sequence. I'm like, wait, when the credits hit, I was like, wait, Judy Greer? Did he just kill Judy Greer? Yeah, bro. And Judy Greer, another, and I know, like, even though she's not even in the movie that much, Jamie Lee Curtis, fucking legend. Like, her acting's always gonna be top notch. But Judy Greer was also a really good actress in this, and I feel like she's like, you know how we call like underrated rappers? She's like an underrated actress because she's been around a long time. Like you can go back to 13 Going on 30 and other movies. Like she's been in the acting game for a long time.
Very much so. I just kind of felt like it was just a weird, like again, that whole
it was a weird ending. That ending was weird. Like that whole thing. Well, from what you're talking about, all the way to the actual laugh, I'm like, wait, what? And it's like
all of a sudden it's like,
and then I'm also like, so I'm guessing too that like if he came back to the house, that he had to murder everybody else who's there, right? Because she wasn't alone.
No, that's not true. It's his house. So what people keep forgetting is, listen, if you live in the neighborhood, this dude just had a good old fight and got beat up and shot by a bunch of like 20 dudes. He probably was like, oh shit, what a night. And then he's coming in, oh damn, there's a bunch of cops in front of my spot. I'm gonna go through the back door and go through there. So he like probably went through some side door, back door, because it's his house. Why are you sitting there in his house? I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I said too. Like, why are you guys still here?
Yeah, okay, you're sitting there, and then like, cause you're thinking, oh, Michael Myers is finally dead. And I'm like, I'm sorry. You, Judy Greer, were a witness to this man being engulfed in flames. Like, if you watch the end of that first Halloween for 2018, when they locked him in the basement, the entire he was in an oven. He was in a broiler, literally flames completely surrounding his body, right? Like everything. He was literally Mikey on fire, like Katniss Everdeen. He's fully on fire, like literally. So when it's funny how like when they open up the thing and they show him and it's like Well, I guess his jumpsuit must have been flame retarded because the only thing that's burnt is like the hair in his mask and in like clearly
They're
you see.
like, look, they're like, don't speak on that. It just the fire just affected his face and hair for dramatic effect.
And let me make it very clear for our audience. We're just obviously having fun with the movie because we love Michael Myers. We love the brutality.
Oh yeah.
So when we bring it into the real world of what would happen with like actual cops or what would happen if Mikey came to the hood, yes, it is true. It is a very different story, but it's just all for fun, guys. So
yeah.
With that said, my review of the movie is just about a 7 for
Yeah, I gave it a 7
movie
too. Yeah.
and about a infinite number of brutality. Because I'm telling you,
for Chucky, I gave that a 10. We didn't rate that. I gave
quality
Chucky a 10.
quality show 10 out of 10 for me for sure.
And then did you see there was sort of a homage in Chucky 2 with his sculptors because they look like the fucking dolls in remember Chucky 2 when he got stuffed in the machine? I was like, oh, that was cool how they did that.
That was, yes. Oh, I forgot. Yes, thank you for pointing that out. That was an Easter egg because if you remember at the end of the movie when he actually got stuck in the machine and he came out, he had a bunch of legs and doll parts on him. So it was interesting that this kid was making that like model, but it was actually something that was like, a nice Easter egg for old things. That was a great call out. I forgot about that till you just said it. Yeah. So with that said, I think we're gonna jump out of the 80s for a second. We talked about RoboCop, we talked about Halloween, we talked about the new Chucky show and how basically Hollywood is still living off of the souls of the 80s.
I mean, wait, I forget which was it. Is it Chucky that says a true classic never dies or something?
Yes, that is correct. The true classic never dies.
So hey, there you go. That shit's gonna be around. Those legends are gonna outlive us. Like they're always gonna be around forever. They're always gonna find ways to continue those stories and remake it.
If you really think about it, the Chucky, Michael Myers, Freddy, Jason, all of these like well-known mainstream horror villains are legitimately our version of Universal monsters. The Frankenstein, Boris Karloff, Dracula, Invisible Man, Creature from the Black.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there was like our generations.
Yeah, our generation. So our generation of it is this new stuff that like started within like the late 80s and beyond. So that's.
I think if you want to say franchises that started new stuff, maybe like the fuck is it? With the other doll, is it Isabel? What the fuck is the new? Annabelle. Like if you want to say like newer generation of stuff that could be the future, because I'm pretty sure they're gonna make more of those movies.
I think The Conjuring is definitely opening up more in the paranormal. Like paranormal,
from that, what we got the Conjuring gave us The Nun and Annabelle, and they'll probably give some more shit too.
We're gonna get the Crooked Man because they made an action figure of him, so I'm pretty sure they plan to do something with him. Like there's no way you like, oh, I'm gonna show you one time in a movie and then make an action figure of you and then never see you ever again. It's like, yeah, they're gonna give a backstory to him and every other character.
Kudos to Hollywood for giving us all this shit around October too.
Absolutely. I look forward to, all of the October horror movies. What's next? Next week is something else. What is not, it's not horror related, but it's another like big property because wait,
it's not Eternals, is it?
No, Eternals is 2 weeks from now. Eternals is 2 weeks. We got Bond at the beginning of this month, which spoilers, I'm gonna just say to you right now. I know it wasn't originally what we planned on talking about, but I just got to say spoilers. James Bond dies in this movie, so sorry if you haven't seen the movie yet. But
I mean, yes, I guess Daniel Craig said like 2 movies ago he was done playing Bond, so I would not be surprised if studios for one begged him to do more, and then 2 he said, all right, this is really my last one. You know why? Because y'all gonna write it in the script. I die at the end of this movie. Try to explain that to the audience. Like, I'm not coming back this time. He said, I'm not gonna do no more. I'm gonna go enjoy these dump trucks full of money that y'all gave me for this franchise. So I'm grateful. Take it easy.
But I will say it could be the other way around. It could have been like, Daniel, you got to take our call. And it's like, I'm not interested. Okay, do me a favor. Just read this page of the script. And he read the last part of the script like, oh, so I died. Like, for real this time. Not like I die and then somebody comes with an EpiPen or adrenaline shot like it's Pulp Fiction and wakes me up.
I mean, kind of like, how like Harrison Ford and, another one, he was tired of playing, Han Solo. So
come on back, we'll kill you. And it's like, sure?
All right.
Like, yeah, we'll kill you. We'll give you the same money, but we're going to kill you. And we're going to kill the shit out
of you. Although if they ever wanted to bring him back, it's very easy. Like, he fell off a fucking cliff. You can say he didn't actually die.
He literally became a Force ghost, like, in there, in that last was it not Last Jedi? Was it last Rise of the Skywalker? Yeah. Like,
I'm just saying if they wanted to, it's a movie. It's Hollywood and it's a movie. You could bring somebody back if you really wanted to.
Of course, you can find.
If you watch Aquaman with fucking the last fight scene with him and Manta, when that shit wrapped around Manta's head and it exploded, I was like, yo, my man should have been dead. I don't know how the fuck he survived that, but my man should have been dead. But okay.
That is an absolutely great segue to our next part of our show tonight, which is doing a quick recap of some of the biggest highlights of DC fandom.
DC fandom.
So DC Fandom, for anybody who isn't aware, this is their second annual DC Fandom, which is a virtual show that DC, and I'm pretty sure when things start to clear up a bit, it's safer to go out and hang with each other again, and we can walk around and lick each other.
Why would we do that? We didn't do that before.
Because it's safe. Now it's gonna be safe. It's like, come here, you.
Okay.
But anyway, so it's their second annual virtual event, and I'm looking forward to when they do something like this in person, because this entire show is about nothing but DC. It's kind of like when I watched Space Jam, and I didn't realize that this movie was legitimately a commercial for everything Warner Brothers makes, including what's on HBO Max at this time. But we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about another Warner Brothers.
I still never even watched that yet. I'll watch that eventually.
You don't need to. You don't need to. It's okay. Did you like the one with Michael Jordan?
Yeah, I like that one.
Okay, then never watch this one. Just do yourself a favor. Wait, who's better, Michael Jordan or LeBron James?
Come on, I can't answer that question. They're both
you can't
great.
answer it on here, huh? You can't answer
yeah, they're both great. All I can say is they're both great.
That's a fucking cop-out. Anyway, going back to DC Fandom.
Wait, before we jump into the ones that we like, the only thing I didn't like about overall the DC fandom is the fact that nobody really had like a legit trailer. All this, like half the stuff that they're like, oh, we're still making it. It's like coming to school.
Only Batman.
Yeah, it's like coming to school for show and tell, but you ain't got nothing. Like, yeah, my bag's in my bag. I left my project at home, but I can tell you about it. I was like,
there were only two full trailers. It was the Batman and Peacemaker. Those are only two full trailers.
Yeah, full trailers. Everything else was like something that they pieced together to give us, which I mean, it's cool. It just seemed like
it's concept art.
Yeah, it just seemed like a reoccurring theme with everything. And it's like, all right, Rock, I hope that Black Adam's real good, because you got hyping this up, selling it, like, I've been working on this for years. They're souping it. I feel like they're like swelling our heads up with it. So hopefully it's good.
I think in this day and age that is I'm pretty sure some marketing person would slit my throat and like throw me into a river. But from a marketing standpoint, that shit is too much, because
you mean the fact that they had You mean the fact that they had Pierce Brosnan basically say that this is the greatest movie I've ever been in? Like, I was like, what the fuck?
You were Bond! What are you talking about?
Yeah, he was like, I was in James Bond, but this is beyond compare. And I'm like, what?
They got him like the dude from fucking Coming to America.
I felt like the producers were waving a check in front of Pierce Brosnan, and he was like, this is the greatest movie I've ever been a part of.
Now, I will say, I was very excited to see the real life, like, Dr. Fate helmet, and it looks like they're going to do a great job with it. It's not CGI, it's a practical helmet. So I'm very happy to see that.
And the scene with The Rock where we finally get what it looks like they release him from something. And then, like, I just thought it was very ironic, and I feel like it was planned the way that was done to show, especially for DC fans, The Rock grabs the guy and basically, like, disintegrates him with an electrical bolt. And I'm like, so let me get this straight. Let me get this straight. The guy who's the most electrifying man in sports and entertainment electrified somebody to death. I'm like, come on.
There you go. Come on. Come on with it. They already wait. And then not only that, but they, in order to, like, The Rock showed up. Like, I can't tell you how many times, even in if they take it back to Jungle Cruise. What happened to The Rock at the end of that movie before she put the thing in his mouth, the little pedal? What happened to The Rock? He literally turned into a rock. Like, he literally turned into like, really, y'all? Really? Are we gonna go here? We just gonna do this?
That's right. He did. Holy shit! You're right. He did
turned into The Rock. The Rock turned into The Rock. Like,
that's hilarious.
In this movie, yes, I see. Yes, the most electrifying man. The problem is that I don't see shit. I'm sorry. Again, I brought up Mortal Kombat when we talk about Halloween. I just see some dude that looks like he's as big as a rock in a hood electrify a guy to dust as if I never played Mortal Kombat. I mean, okay.
I mean, I know they're trying to build all this hype. I just hope that I think it will. I mean, The Rock does do big stuff. Like, how we say sometimes, like, I do dope shit. I mean, he does have a resume of dope shit. So,
name one.
What do you mean, name one? Fucking Fast and Furious.
Wait, are you talking about the Fast and the Furious movie that he's in, or Hobbs and Shaw?
Okay, the Fast and Furious movies that he was in. Like, when he first comes,
the Fast and the Furious cast,
like,
supported by The Rock.
I mean, Fast and Furious Rundown. Like, The Rock has some good movies. I like the other one where he was the lawman. Like, he has some good movies that I like. So I don't think that he's gonna be. And even Jungle Cruise, I was sitting here telling Jill that Jungle Cruise is gonna suck. And when we went to the theater to see it, I was excited more than her. Like I was like, it was awesome.
Oh, you mean a movie where he played the Spanish dude?
Yes, that one. But yeah, I mean, I was like, okay, like I love to. That is one thing I love. When it comes to critiquing this stuff and reviewing, I love to go and see some shit that I think is gonna suck, and it proves me totally wrong and makes me look sick.
Oh yeah, Jungle Cruise.
I love it.
I can't deny. So the thing is that Rock is always entertaining. He's absolutely entertaining, but he's also a very good salesman. So that's why I needed to see this movie, because him just sitting there telling me the hierarchy in the DC universe is about to change. Hey, come here, Rock. Come here. Let me tell you something. They ain't built no movie universe yet. So we're going to change it.
Maybe that's what. I mean, maybe that's what he's trying to say, though. Maybe he said maybe they can do it backwards, because they kind of fucked up with all the other stuff. Maybe they could do it backwards, and because Shazam, Wonder Woman, and all the other movies are actually good, maybe they can build upon it that way, make these solo features and build upon it that way.
Let me whisper something to you. They don't have a fucking choice. They already fucked up the other way.
Yeah, that's true. I would agree. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Already. So what other way do you go? They only have this. What other? So wait, either you continue to just go, I'm gonna reboot the shit out of each one of these items, or you decide to go, I'm gonna build on characters that you don't know, like Peacemaker or the Suicide Squad, and build them up and just make them exist in a world. And at some point in time, they do interact with these other folk. Like, I am happy about the Batman, because the Batman is basically.
Oh, that was the next one I was going to mention, because
I'm like year one,
really
year
good.
Two with the guy.
I mean, they had me at Riddler. Riddler has always been my favorite Batman villain. So they had me when in the beginning of the trailer when the cops come in and the cup of coffee with the question mark in it. I'm like, all right, just take my money. Yeah, I'm in. I mean, I'm in anyway. It's Batman, but seeing another seeing a more serious version of the Riddler this time around will be interesting to watch.
Yeah, I am interested in seeing it as long as he, maintains a, now wait, hold on a second. This ain't the first time I'm seeing a serious iteration of the Riddler, because I can't forget the show was terrible, but these two characters weren't terrible, which was the Riddler and Penguin in the Gotham TV show. They weren't terrible.
Yeah. I never had an interest to watch that show, but then somebody told me the Riddler was in the show, and I was like, wait, he was? I'm like, so now I have to go back and watch that at some point.
You see the Penguin literally go on the path of becoming like a crime boss or whatever. And in this one, like, I'll say Colin Farrell definitely does have this, like, what I would consider a good live action comic version of Oswald Cobblepot. Like, that looks to me like what I would imagine this guy to be. He seems more like the Penguin I fought in the Arkham City or Arkham Asylum video game. So I'm happy with it. And he's completely disappeared into the makeup, because unless somebody tells you that's Colin Farrell,
he wasn't exactly recognizable. I'm like, I didn't know that was him the first time I saw the.
So speaking of the trailer for a second, I do think that that's one of the coolest sequences in the trailer, which is the end of the trailer for Batman, which is the whole, like, yeah, like a villain cheering about them defeating Batman prematurely. It's just magic. Like, it doesn't matter who it is.
Oh yeah, and then what was the line about the bat symbol? The bat, it's not just a symbol that brings Batman. It brings hurt, or it brings pain or something. I'm
not sure. I gotta.
It was actually something cool. It was actually something cool they said, but I was like, yeah, it does. Like, yeah,
it's not just a symbol. It's a warning.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. Not just a symbol, it's a warning. Because it's like, yeah, it's like, and I was thinking, like, oh, that's a great line, because yeah, when Batman does show up, you know you done fucked up, right?
To me, yes, because it makes sense for them to say it that way, and I love that coolness of it, because just imagine I am about to go do some bad shit, like, all right, let's go rouse some people, and I look up in the sky like, oh shit, Batman, man, fuck this, I can't, I'm out there,
and that actually kind of follows the same theme that they had in the Christian Bale ones, if you think about it, because in the Christian Bale ones, when Batman showed up, it was kind of like, hey yo, the Bat, like let's get the fuck out of here. It was kind of like, yo, let's go. Like, hey, you don't want that.
Oh, yeah, that was the origin of the light. Yes, that's a good point.
And then it looks like, and then Zoe Kravitz is a good actress. It looks like they're gonna have a good little, like, love romance action
for
thingy.
All the Batcat lovers out there, you're gonna get them together. I will say, and I'm pretty sure I'll get some booze. I'm not really a Batcat lover. I don't know if you know what that means. The Batcat lover.
Batcat. You mean you're not here for the romance?
I'm really not here for the romance of those two. I love Catwoman. Don't get me wrong.
I like it only because it's sort of in a way clouds Batman's judgment sometimes. Yeah, so I kind of
sort of. It pretty much does. Yeah.
Yeah.
It clouds the judgment. To me, I'm kind of indifferent with it. I'm like, I like the whole element of, like, she's still who she is, and sometimes she's playing him and sometimes he's playing her. That was the Michelle Pfeiffer, Michael Keaton type of thing that I was cool with. But I'm gonna just tell you right now, Matt Reeves, please God, I don't know if you're ever gonna hear this, but please God, do not give me a 2-hour movie in which like 60% of this movie is their relationship, because I'm not. I am here for the punching. And
then there was that one scene. I don't know. I think you're gonna get plenty of that, because there was that one scene where Batman was beating the shit out of somebody, and it looked like she needed to get him off him. I'm like, all right, they going for some real grounding. They going for ground and pound Batman this time around. Okay,
we are, because you got to think about it in terms of the time frame, right? So I think that this book, if I want to connect this trailer, just piecing it together, and what they've shown us so far from this movie. To me, they're going to piecemeal this movie from different parts of early, like, year 1 Batman, year 0, year 2, and Scott Snyder's story with the Riddler. Like, they're going to piece all of those movies together in a nice little pot, and hopefully we get a beautiful baked cake called the Batman. That's what I'm hoping for from this movie. And then I love the fact that he has the Riddler as a villain, and the Riddler as a villain in here, and Penguin. And the biggest reasons that I love those two as a villain in this movie is that neither one of them pose a physical threat to Batman directly, like themselves. But the Riddler can impose psychological issues and then on top of it cause some physical things. And the Penguin, because he's got boys and he's got, he can cause, some physical threat to him or fan. So it's like a different level of like, he's not fighting Bane, he's not fighting, he's fighting somebody on a different level, which is going to.
Well, yeah, he's fighting one. Yeah, he's fighting one guy. One guy he has to think, use his brain, which is great for us to see like the detective side of him, because you got to outthink this guy.
Correct. And my hope for this movie too is just like we used to see, and I can't remember the actor's name, but he was in Gremlins 2, the actor that does the Riddler's voice from the anime. I
know who you're talking about. He was also in Shazam. He was the dad that got fucking murdered.
Exactly, which is funny that I like when they keep people around. There's another property we'll talk about later that they use people from other properties you've seen in live action and then use them for voice. But for him, what I like about this whole thing is that like he literally has to sort of think and be a detective, unlike any like movie that he's been in. So that's what I'm looking for. But it's also, you get a chance to see early decisions of his that hopefully play out in other movies. But the one thing I wanted to say about the Riddler before I went over to that was, many times in the animated series, and that was one of the reasons why I know he's one of your favorite villains from the animated series, is that dude used to get away.
Oh, yeah.
Like, well, Batman, I wish I could say, how sorry I am that you saw my crime, but I'm already in Texas. Like, what?
They did have a couple of episodes where like this guy he was laying on the beach somewhere chilling, and he had just set all this stuff up like Jigsaw.
So, I mean, that's essentially what we're going to get. I think for me, from what they're showing, we're going to get this like young Jigsaw type villain who is also very good with technology. And that, to me, plays into what Scott Snyder did with the Riddler when he got his hands on him. He played him as more of because again, just like another movie we didn't really talk about bringing up here, but that trailer dropped as well. And it's not related to DC, but I'll just mention it, which is Scream. I told you before that the Scream villain has this Ghostface has an advantage now in 2021 of all the technology and social media that he can use, or multiple of the Ghostfaces can use to kill their people and know where people are and stalk people. It's much easier in this day and age. We do not. Let me put a disclaimer. We do not condone stalking, killing, or hunting people on social media or anything.
But I am definitely. That's one of my movies I'm definitely look forward to for 2022, which is Scream. I've been a huge fan since the first one, and also it's funny. For years, we always try to guess who the killer is wrong. We have been wrong every time. Every single that franchise and the Saw franchise, we were wrong on every level.
Absolutely, there is no chance. Their writers are good to the extent of writing. They are writing a story and playing a game that they make you think like. It's almost like they hand you a puzzle and say, "Please solve this puzzle." And while you are solving this puzzle, something else totally different is going on than you know, and then you go, "Ha! I solved this puzzle." Wait, what? Where am I?
Yeah.
Like you're just like, wait, why am I on this track over here when there's a whole nother track that's like going on?
But they also, I think the most funniest thing too, but it make it seem like it's overcomplicated, and then the killer usually turns out to be something really simple and actually makes sense when you think about it.
The only one that always bites me just a little bit, and I like the actress because she's starred in Glow. She was the villain in part 4, which she was her Sydney's cousin. That was the only one that actually kind of like was like.
Oh, I know who you're talking about, the chick from Scream Queens.
Wait, is she also in Scream Queens?
Yeah, she was. She was one of the main characters in Scream Queens.
I never watched Scream Queens.
Wow, you didn't. You need to do yourself a service and watch that show. I believe it's still on Hulu and stuff. That show was awesome, and Jamie Lee Curtis was on that show too.
Oh, okay. That makes me not want to watch it.
Oh, what? I'm like, what?
No, I'm kidding. I'll put it on my queue at some point. But
I'm trying to remember her name. That's what I'm looking up the cast. Oh, Emma Roberts. You're talking Emma Roberts.
Yes.
Who is actually the niece of Julia Roberts.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep. That's Julia Roberts' niece, which explains her awesome resume of movies and stuff that she's done over the years. I'm like, great connections. But yeah, yep. Scream Queens, yeah, you definitely want to check that out. That's awesome.
I didn't know she was in
Another thing before we go to what do you call it? A couple more DC Fandom things. We didn't talk about the casting of Adam Warlock either.
Yes, Adam Warlock has been cast
with Will Poulter.
What there's a phrase that me and my wife use. Me and my wife use when somebody has such a plain face. We say they have a butter face. Like they just look. It can be black, white, whatever. They just look like a stick of butter. Like their face is just so plain. So when you see that actor, I'm just like, he's not handsome. He's not ugly. That dude's got a butter face.
Let me make this real meta for you. We were just talking about Emma Roberts. You know that guy who's been cast as Adam Warlock. He was in We're the Millers. We're the Millers, where Emma Roberts played his sister. How fucking meta is that? We're talking about that right now.
Is that what made you bring it up?
Huh?
What is that?
No. I was just remembering that we never talked about that, but they finally confirmed and cast Adam Warlock. I was just like, oh shit. I thought it was funny because I remember the first day that news came out, because I follow the app that we use for the comic book stuff, and the value of different Adam Warlock books was skyrocketing. Right after that news came out, it was it was going up.
If somebody's known to be a live action property, their value in the books instantly go through the roof. I got a bunch of Adam Warlock stuff. Okay, cool. I'll sell them. It's okay. He's not one of those characters that gets me excited about being cast. I mean, they told me he was coming a long time ago.
I'm just kind of wondering what they have planned for him.
I would like to know that as well, because what's interesting to me about his casting is he is basically he's in a world that doesn't actually need him from a standpoint of the Infinity Saga already happened.
That's what I mean. Because in a lot of the comics, because in a lot of the comic stories, he's a part of all that stuff, and even gets the gauntlet at one point.
He's a huge part of Infinity Saga.
And he even gets the fucking gauntlet at one point. So that's why I'm like, I wonder how they're gonna. That's why I was like, I wonder how they're gonna utilize him. But I'm pretty sure at this point, though, it's funny. I asked myself those questions, then I look in the mirror and I go, "It's the MCU. There's no need to worry."
I'm telling you, that phrase from fucking Eddie Murphy sticks in my head every time I think about something. When you ask a question about something and then go, nigga, ask yourself again.
Yeah,
ask yourself again if Marvel gonna make it good. Wait, do you have?
I don't know. I had a friend that was like, now Venom may crossover to the MCU. You think that'll be good? Let me see. Venom. If Venom crosses over and then that symbol, that one Marvel Studio symbol comes up on the screen, oh, that shit going down. Oh, it's going down. Now I'm excited. Now you got to get the popcorn, and now I'm excited.
And then I'm gonna look at in that same person. I'm telling you, you got to use that phrase at least one time. You're like, when he asks you, you think Venom gonna be good? Nigga, ask yourself again if Marvel gonna do that. They're gonna make it good. I'm telling you, that's it. That's all you just ask me. They're gonna go, yeah, you know what? Yeah, actually, MCU hasn't let me down. Wait, I'm gonna cover my eyes.
I mean, I told you that about. I told you that about new Ghostbusters. We're hearing from multiple sources that it's good, and I'm like, sometimes it's just the formula that's involved that just tells you wait, so the son of the original guy who did the movie is directing it and wrote it and his father is there helping him make it, and a producer, and Dan Aykroyd, and okay, all right. Oh, and then the original people coming back. Yeah, this shit gonna be different. So I'm like, wait, so everybody is involved except for Egon, of course, because rest in peace, Egon passed away. But everybody else is here. We seen what's the name in Janine in the trailer saying like, they could barely keep the power. I mean, they had me with that too, with the nostalgia. I'm like, yo, Janine is the fucking one that brought them to the house.
I'm telling you right.
I'm telling you now. Before
oh wait, does that movie come out? No, that movie comes out Thanksgiving, right?
Thanksgiving, I think. But I keep saying, I think I've said this on like 3 episodes now. But I think that that whole thing that's opening up, I think it's Gozer. If you pause some moments of the trailer, and then the dogs, the fucking dogs from the first one, I'm like, I think that it's Gozer coming back again.
I'm gonna tell you just like this. Sorry, Hasbro has spoiled it. This was already online. Hasbro's already spoiled it because his toy has leaked. And a Build-A-Figure, if you get the other characters, is the dogs for Gozer. And I'm like, well, what the fuck?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think so I think the villain is Gozer.
They spoiled that there's a Gozer. There's going to be a Gozer Funko Pop that is going to be a jumbo size one, and then there's going to be a 2-pack of the dogs. So it's like,
so it makes me think that if we go back to the original film, maybe then they defeated Gozer. Maybe they entrapped it in those in those units or whatever, and then maybe Egon took it out in the middle of nowhere and they buried that shit where nobody could find it. And now maybe his fucking grandkid accidentally uncovers this stuff and unlocks this thing by accident.
So I'm just I know we're gonna get back to DC fandom, but just Daddy Chew unlocked the Ghostbuster in me. So what you're basically telling me, as I'm sitting here thinking about this, is you have these retired Ghostbusters who don't have anything to fight, and they're trying to live a normal life, not being Ghostbusters, right? It's like Avengers not being Avengers. And the one big job that you guys took care of that literally christened you guys as the Ghostbusters is the thing that you now is pulling you out of retirement to go and handle, because it's like I can't let the world go to shit again.
There's so many, because to me there's so many clear indications in the fucking trailers that this is Gozer. First off, Paul Rudd in the store and all the little tiny marshmallow men. Oh man, where did we last see the Marshmallow Man? In the first movie. Then you got Paul Rudd running out of Walmart, being chased by a giant dog, which also says that he may get possessed at some point in this movie too. But I'm like, yeah, and then it's when I pose the parts where it's like these Egyptian type of statue thing, and if you look close, there's 2 dogs sitting on 2 different sides of like a throne. Just like in the original fucking movie.
I'm gonna tell you right now, there's gonna be a nobody has spoiled this for me, but I'm just speculating this. When you least suspect it, there has got to be in this movie, because of their type of comedy, there has got to be a scene between Bill Murray or Sigourney Weaver and fucking what's his name from Honey I Shrunk the Kids?
Oh, Rick Moranis. Oh yeah, don't forget. And that's another nostalgia thing right there that might make you piss your pants if you're a big fan of this franchise. Don't forget that Rick Moranis talked like, I remember there was a conversation had by Ivan Reitman and Rick Moranis with bringing him back. So they haven't seen him in the trail at all, but he may be just a cameo. It might be just a funny scene, but well, I said that before. If Rick Moranis is in this movie, he has to get locked out of something, because I would just fucking die of laughter in the seat. where he's like a teacher in the school or something, and he's like, all right, kids, I'm gonna go do my lesson plans, I'll see you later, and then he can't get the door open.
Wait, somebody get me a line of this nostalgia coke, because I'm there, baby. I'm taking
That's
it
what
off.
I'm saying, man. I'm pretty sure this movie's gonna be awesome.
Here's a funny thing to me. The only bad thing I've heard about this movie is that the movie at some point kind of pushes story away and just replaces story with fan service. And I'm gonna say, listen, the only other movie that I know who did that really well was Endgame. Endgame by the time the rocket hits the Avengers campus and everything explodes, the fucking story really just kind of goes out the window. All you care about is just seeing shit happen on screen. So
seeing everybody fighting and stuff. Like, if you get some of the best Captain America fight scenes in the fucking Marvel Cinematic Universe in that movie.
Wait, speaking of Captain America, I'm gonna bring it back to Halloween one more time because I love that scene so much. I'm gonna say to you that I believe that moment when Michael Myers picked up his mask, there should be a clip added in there, and I hope I can get a copy of that clip to do it and go, before we get started, does anybody want to leave?
Does anybody want to go home? Like, y'all want to go home, then y'all want to get murdered, then y'all better get out. Oh wait, yeah, you could take the dialogue from what's that, Players Club, that old movie with Jamie Foxx when the dude in the wheelchair was like, anybody that don't want to get murdered, get the fuck out.
That works too, man. Like, that's I just find that scene to be do that whole movie with all the brutality. It just sticks in my mind. But yes, Ghostbusters, looking forward to that. One thing I have to say real quick before we get back to DC, and we'll end the show on the DC fandom. But one thing I have to say is, if nobody's noticed this, I have. But has anybody noticed that Thanksgiving weekend or Thanksgiving week is overstuffed like a fucking turkey with content?
I mean, you got to go back. You got to go back to our childhood. I mean, that's how it used to be. You remember when we were growing up, Christmas and Thanksgiving, it wasn't like one or two movies. There were like at least 3 or 4 different big ass movies we were excited to see, and we had to choose one. All right, which one you want to? Or if you remember, like, you know, back then before we had to, you know, get jobs and support ourselves, it was like we'd get money for Christmas and stuff, and we could spend the whole weekend going to see different movies and stuff. We could say, all right, we'll see this one Friday, we'll see this one Saturday, we'll see this one Sunday. So, you know.
Yeah, like, to me, honest, like, you got 3 major things that happen that weekend. You got Ghostbusters. Hawkeye premieres that weekend. And it's Hawkeye episode 1 for their show premieres that weekend. Then you got Bruise, which is Halle Berry's first direct movie. And I don't know if anybody's watched the trailer, but I've never been more excited to see Nork. Like, I'm looking around, I'm like, I know every place that she was in that fucking, like, just not even just from the standpoint of, like, literally she came on my block here and filmed some of them on my block, but literally, like, I'm seeing her walk down the street, I'm like, oh, that's Bergen Street right there. Oh, that's right there by the corner store. That's like legitimately, like, you see, like, they didn't go in and do no, like, reconstruction. They legit just use stuff as backgrounds and right there.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I'm like,
I can't wait to see that. I can't wait to see that one too.
Like, how many things? And I'm pretty sure there's something else I'm missing. Like, something else comes out the same time as Eternals.
Is it Matrix or is that Christmas?
No, Matrix is trying to get that Christmas money. No, I think Matrix comes out the same week. I think it comes out like a week after No Way Home, because I don't think nobody want to touch No Way Home. Like, just don't even waste your time.
No, there is some other stuff that comes out Christmas. I think West Side Story by Steven Spielberg, I think that's Christmas also.
I gotta check. When is this? Matrix 4 comes out December 22nd. Yeah. And No Way Home, let me see. No Way Home release date is December 17th. Yeah, I was right. Yeah, it's about a week difference. So No Way Home comes out. And wait, when I look at the thing, you know what else comes out on December 17th?
What?
Nothing. Nothing. I'm sorry. Who want the smoke? Who want the smoke? Ain't nobody. They don't. You don't want that MCU problem. You don't want to be. Who wants to be the movie that comes out the same time as one of the biggest Spider-Man movies like in recent years. I'm like, go ahead.
Especially where they're introducing multiverses into the movie. So we have no idea what we're gonna see in this film.
So getting back, it's funny. I'll use that as a segue to go back into the DC fandom, getting into the multiverse. So DC, who has messed around with the multiverse in the television realm and is now bringing it in more so into the movies, is making a Flash movie which explores the multiverse. So it looks like from the small teaser that we got that they are going to explore a bit of the Flashpoint storyline, which is kind of where what it looks like we're getting. It looks like, my speculation from just the small teaser we got is that if anybody remembers the storyline of Flashpoint, the Flash actually goes back in time and like has a way to, like, because he lost his mom, and he goes back in time to like, okay, I can go through time and space, and makes it so that his mom never died. And literally it alters the DC universe future forever. Bruce Wayne died instead of Thomas Wayne and Martha Wayne, and Thomas Wayne becomes Batman. So now Thomas Wayne and a couple of other people have to go with the Flash to try to fix time and space.
But they gotta fix shit because he done messed everything up.
And the biggest heartbreak of it, which is the fact that like the true thing that he has to do to fix everything is that he has to give up the one thing that he loves. So he has to leave time and space the way it is in order for, you know, this to work out. Now, I don't know.
The only funny thing is I'm not really excited to see this particular one. I'm like, I'm biased. I'm gonna go ahead and say that I'm biased. I'm team Grant Gustin. I'm like, I think that this is gonna be, it has the potential to be good. I feel like I'm gonna put my film critic on and just say, we'll see. We'll see. Because like I'm not overly excited to see it because we already seen some of this on, unless they explore things further, we already seen this on the CW. Was there a season where Barry brought his mom back to life and it also fucked up that? Because remember, there was a season where he brought his mom back, and then they showed us that it affected, Flash thought that just bringing his mom back would fix, his self. But then they show you, it had a ripple effect on Arrow, Black Lightning, and all these other shows. It fucked up things.
I'm going to tell you right here, right now, this clip right here, what you just said right then and there, this right here is going on Instagram. Because I just want to see if this video gets killed by DC. Because to me, if they were watching it, they're like, cut the feed.
Well, no, I'm not trying to trash them or nothing, but yeah, I'm not really excited. Like, only thing the only reason most fans went to see Venom 2, because we wanted to know if the leaks online were true about the after credit. We didn't give a fuck about that movie. I'm sorry, Venom 2 was trash. But
I would say the second with people wanted to see Carnage.
And Carnage, which they didn't really do that great a job. There was nothing memorable in that. But same thing with Flash. The only thing I'm excited about is seeing Michael Keaton as Batman. I swear, if you took a survey at the theater, people would probably lie. Majority of people that are going to see the Flash movie are only excited because they're like, Mike Keaton's gonna be Batman. And maybe somewhere in there is the potential for Terry McGinnis's name to pop up or something, and maybe we finally put Batman on the show, and we get fucking Batman Beyond or some new shit for once. I'm just saying, I love Batman. Right. Love Batman. He's one of my favorite superheroes of all time too. But I feel like after the Robert Pattinson, if that's good, great. But let's explore some other stuff, with Bat. It's more Batmans than just Batman.
No. So what you just said to DC, I'm going to translate it for you for what you just said to DC. You just said, I want to remove my cash cow, because if Batman was removed from any of my properties, live action, animated, or books, my company would tank. Who said that? Technically, you're not removed. If they bring to life Batman Beyond, technically they're not removing him because Bruce Wayne's still a part of that story.
So
cool. So you're gonna take the most popular Batman and you're gonna sideline him. All right, cool. I'm just
but that's the thing, you know, it doesn't have to be like the show. You don't have to sideline them. I'm pretty sure that they wouldn't anyway. If they did a live action, I'm pretty sure they'd have a few moments where where Batman Beyond was kicking.
Batman Beyond is a sideline of Bruce Wayne. Like Bruce Wayne is the guy in the chair in the movie.
I know that, but I'm not saying. But I'm saying like you still could. You don't have to do the the same thing. You could have where Batman actually does get his hands dirty sometimes.
I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna give you. This is my mic, and then I'm gonna drop it for what I want for my team. Okay, this is my pretend mic. Okay. I am telling you right here now, DC, if you are going to bring Michael Keaton around, Michael Keaton is still, is a relatively older man. If you are smart, you will make a Logan-style Dark Knight movie, not starring Ben Affleck, but starring fucking Michael Keaton. Okay?
Yeah.
If you make that movie, you give me a real fucking Joker, you give me a real Superman, you give me real shit, or give me 3 movies if you want. You could do the Dark Knight Returns, and then the Dark Knight Strikes Again. Give me the whole Frank Miller run with fucking Michael Keaton. He's still alive.
I feel like also that would depend if Michael Keaton not only wants to do that, but is physically capable of doing that like he is. Because we all know that the superhero movies do take a toll on you. So
it does, but you also have to remember the fact that in those movies specifically, Batman is an older man in general. So he's an older man in general in those movies. So it's like it makes sense why, like, a lot of let's be real here. A lot of the Frank Miller books is a lot of great dialogue. It's a lot of great dialogue. There's some great fighting in there, but if you really think about like the fights, he fights like the mutant leader. He fights a few thugs or something, but he's like on a horse. Then he's in like a tank. He's like and even when he fights Superman, he's got like a metal suit on because he can't really fight him the right way he wants. Like, hey, do me a favor, guys. Remake that scene with Batman in that Dark Knight suit and take Ben Affleck ass out of there and put fucking Keaton in that suit. Because let's just face it, if you're a Batman fan, if you do not, I'm gonna tell you right now, you want to know who the tribal chief is of the DC universe for Batman? His name is fucking Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
Acknowledge him.
Acknowledge
Michael
me.
Keaton.
He's like, acknowledge me. Well, yeah, don't
lying to yourself.
I would say, yeah, don't waste the opportunity. You got him to come back for this Flashpoint. So yeah, let's keep that momentum going. If this movie turned out to be dope, let's keep that momentum going. That let's do some more stuff with Michael Keaton as Batman. As long as he wants to do it.
As long as he wants to do it, I'm gonna tell you something right here now. When it comes down to it, if you want me to have like something dope here and you're telling me this is multiverses, fuck, you know what? Fuck it. George Clooney's still alive. Like, I don't want a whole movie of him, but just acknowledge him. Like, all right, he's still there. Val Kilmer, okay, he's a little bit like sicker and maybe he can't do it exactly the same.
Val Kilmer's sick, so I don't think that would happen.
Yeah, so that's not gonna really work out there. But I respect Robert Pattinson. So like, just talk about that for a second. You notice the fact that Robert Pattinson is not using the voice modulator. He's not using very much.
I mean, it looks. I'm impressed. The movie looks dope. I'm like, it's like my critique. Like that shit looks dope. I can't wait to see it. I think we gotta wait till next year. That comes out next year.
Yeah, it comes out March 4th. I'm gonna go ahead and say this. I am going to reserve judgment of this movie until I see it, because I'm still not like the Batman. Like,
I'm not really like that. But really from what I've seen enough to say to myself, it looks dope. So I just hope it is. But
like the trailer got me excited to be like another Batman movie.
It definitely looks like definitely looks like we get to see Batman punch a lot of people in the face.
Absolutely, lots of punching in the air. He's gonna punch a bunch of guys in their throats. We're gonna get Catwoman. We're gonna get Riddler, which is funny because essentially what we're getting in this movie is we're gonna get the Cat, the Bat, and the Rat, but we're also getting the Riddler. So it's basically like Batman Returns, but Jim Carrey decided to cameo in the movie. Like we're gonna another person in there. And again, I really appreciate the fact that this guy who's playing the Riddler is not, he's taking a different approach, and so is Colin Farrell. Colin Farrell is going for this like Cockney asshole, mob boss that has built himself from the crime underground to be almost as rich in dirty money as fucking Bruce Wayne, and like, doing a bunch of dirty shit and has no qualms of killing anybody or anything like that. So I appreciate that true to Penguin character that we're finally getting. Going on to another property that they only showed concept art for. We talked about Black Adam. We talked about the Batman.
They also announced. They also talked about Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom.
The Lost Kingdom.
Aquaman, which Yahya Abdul-Mateen is gonna be in again. Next time I see that man, I gotta high five you, bro, because you've been just killing that shit. Yo, he been killing that shit. Like then it was also Shazam, Fury of the Gods.
Yep.
What else? Oh, Harley Quinn season 3.
Yep.
And what else was there? Was there anything else that I missed?
Those
are just like some of the big top ones that I saw.
Those are the top big dogs there. I will say another DC property I just checked out that premiered right before the fandom was Aquaman King of Atlantis, which in this particular series, now I did find it interesting that when I looked at the producer of this cartoon is actually James Wan, the person who made Aquaman, the Aquaman live action movie. I was like, oh, like, how did that conversation go? It's just like, hey, can you do me a favor? Can you make a cartoon? Or I don't know if he pitched it to them or they pitched it to him. Can you work with some guys and make a funny cartoon that is technically a sequel to the movie you made? Because literally, like, the cartoon, I watched the first episode. The cartoon literally starts where Ocean Master is defeated, and now Aquaman is the king.
Well, you know, it's funny we're talking about Aquaman. That's literally my favorite character of this whole Justice League. I got him hanging on my wall, dressed as like a bat. I dig it. Like, I don't know. Jason Momoa was born to play that character, because I'm like, he's always been like the constant cool thing I liked about it.
Here's something that's funny though. So I want you to, I'm gonna talk about the guy and tell you where he's from, because ironically you're wearing something where this guy comes from that does the voice of him. And the guy.
Oh yeah, I did not plan that, by the way.
DC fandom, you got the DC shirt on. I have a WWE shirt, but we ain't talking about that garbage. We get, look up Cooper Andrews. Cooper Andrews also was in a live action DC movie, which is the Shazam, which is the shirt that Ronnie's wearing. This was not
Shazam.
So Cooper Andrews, when Ronnie pulls him up, you will get a chance to see who he was in that movie and see the fact that he looks like a heavyset Jason Momoa.
Oh yeah, he really does. Holy crap.
Which is hilarious to me. It's just like, so they got another Samoan dude.
Oh, that guy's he's also in C.
Yeah, he's in C. Wait,
he was also in The Walking Dead.
He played Jerry in The Walking Dead. He was Ezekiel's advisor.
Okay.
Like, Cooper Andrews, he does a great job at this character. Funny enough, Mira, talking about somebody else from the Community show. Shout out to my Community.
Wow! Talk about history of this guy. I mean, like, his upbringing. His father is Samoan, and his mom is of Hungarian Jewish descent. Like, holy crap! That's a lot of history wrapped up into one person.
That dude's a Jewish Hungarian Samoan sandwich.
Yeah, like, holy crap.
But yeah, he was already. Do you remember him from Shazam?
Actually, no.
He was the head person at the house, the foster home that.
That's right. Okay, that's right. I remember
the household.
Oh yeah, so he's basically Shazam's dad.
Pretty much, yeah. He's just like, hey, Billy, acknowledge me.
No.
But I mean, again, it's cool to see when they get a chance to work in a DC property again. But just from now he has the credit of being in Shazam, and he also has the credit of being basically the animated version of Aquaman, and the live action cousin or brother of Jason Momoa. That's what. When I saw him, I was like, oh. For a second, I thought he was Abe Oddish, which is the guy from Cartoon Network we met. I thought he was him because I looked at him. I'm like, man, that looks awfully like him. The dude that did the Bear.
Oh yeah, he does look like. I remember that. Yeah, he did the Sheldon sketches for me.
Yeah, exactly. At Fanfare. Yeah, he did those. So he kind of looks like that guy.
Which
too.
I totally missed it recently. I totally forgot Sanford Green. He opened up a commission list again, like to do sketches. Before I could go, oh, this is cool. The list is already sold out. It was like seconds. It was, oh well, I mean, he only opened up 30 spots anyway, too. But I was like, because I would love to get him to, like I said, I would love to get him to commission like an Undertaker sketch for me.
Oh, you know that would be amazing. That would just be amazing. Like, we've seen this guy, and we've talked to this guy, and in the future, you guys will definitely get a chance to see that interview. So definitely, it was just a lot of fun to get a chance to talk to him, and he also has a story that eventually, when you hear it, will tell you a little bit about his experience of being not on the set, but just being around somebody for another project he's working on of his own making with a guy named Ryan Coogler, who is also working on Black Panther. So he'll tell you that story in an upcoming episode.
Oh yeah, now we know. Remember, we got a little more news on that, which they picked Regina King is the one directing Bitterroot.
Yeah, we knew that. Yeah. Oh yeah, because at the time we didn't know that.
Yeah,
he might have do that.
Before I think Ryan Coogler was doing it before, but then he's too busy with other projects, so they got a different director, which is going to be Regina King.
I'm gonna tell you.
I think that's because he's working on Black Panther 2. He's working on the Disney Plus Wakanda show. Plus, he's serving as producer for Creed 3. Because I know that Michael B. Jordan is. And these boys busy, because I know Michael B. Jordan is, and then they also confirmed that in the beginning of DC Fandom that like Static Shock live action is happening. Mike B. Jordan is 100% on board. Like I was like, I don't know why we needed to hear that, but they made sure to say that right in the beginning, like Static Shock is happening. So I'm like, okay, hey, I can't wait to see it. That'll be awesome.
I'm gonna tell you right here now. You ain't got it. You not. Let me ask you before I say it. When do you think they're gonna bring Static Shock around?
When Miles Morales comes out?
You got that right. That's when they're gonna bring Static Shock ass around.
Or any other.
They're not waiting for Marvel to bring a young black kid as the main superhero of a movie. Come on, man. They waiting for him. They like, all right, go ahead, make that movie. Don't worry, go ahead.
Yeah, they're probably even when they finally do make it. Yeah, they're probably gonna put that over there on the shelf and. Yeah, because I mean, look at, and you know they do that because look at Shazam. Shazam is finished and it don't come out to 2023. So they're like, all right, put that over here. All right, okay. And put that over here until let's see what Marvel did. I wonder if they actually do that. All right, put this over. All right, what Marvel got coming out in 2023? All right, cool. Shazam will work perfect to put out around that time.
You think it's a coincidence that like some shit? Like I'm telling you, a lot of
like if you think about it, DC, it's kind of genius for them to put out a bunch of shit in 2022 because Marvel dominated this year. Because the pandemic actually, to me, helped Marvel because they didn't even plan to put all this shit out back to back to back like they did, but it helped them because they dominated and all the fucking content was awesome. So I feel like now that Marvel is like, I feel like 2022 is them filming and working on more new stuff. That gives DC time to put out shit and kind of take over a little bit.
Here's what's funny about this conversation, right?
I'm trying to re-hang up my picture.
They got knocked down.
No, this is the Jason Momoa one I took down. Oh, there we go.
Okay. Here's the funny thing about the conversation. I'm just gonna be straight up and very blunt. We acting like DC and Marvel are competing in the movies.
Oh well,
this shit been over years ago.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's still a competition. As long as you exist, you're still in some. As long as you exist, you're still in some type of competition.
Okay, the MCU.
I mean, when somebody comes along, you're in competition whether you want to be or not.
Yeah, that's what, That's what DC tells himself at night.
Because, you know, like, I mean, you can't sleep on the competition. Because, like, you know, why do you think, as much as we rag on WWE about not being, you know, not being that great or consistent, we don't truly stop watching. I mean, even if I skip a week of Raw, I still find myself on Instagram checking to see what they're doing. So, you know what I mean? It's like, so you never completely stop. So
I think what it really boils down to,
because think about it, if you completely stop, that might be the time where DC put out some really hot shit. You like, yo, did you see such and such? That was hot as shit.
See, when you are on the bottom, you see many, but when you on the top, there ain't any. You just there ain't nobody.
I get what you're saying. Like, yeah, we so far.
Let me ask you a question.
We so far up. We so far up. I can't. Somebody else doing something? I don't even know.
You got fucking Kevin Feige and Kathy Kennedy. I'm all the way up. Like, all the way.
Yeah.
Like, there is nothing. Wait. All Warner Brothers has right now, Warner Brothers Media, whatever they want to call themselves now, all they have to bank on is DC properties, right? That's all they got. They are so desperate. They're like, Keanu Reeves, we'll suck your dick. Can you come back and do a magic movie?
I mean, I would say that because literally they're doing now what I said that they should have been done years ago. Like, I don't know why they don't make, you know, Arrow and the Flash into the movies and cross over. And then years later, somebody in a Disney boardroom raised their hand like, what if we started crossing them over with the TV? And somebody was like, yo, come with me because you're getting promoted.
I'm gonna tell you right now, how many DC properties did you watch during the pandemic? And then how many Marvel properties did you watch during the pandemic?
I mean, you watched
I don't think you missed. Wait, let me ask you this question. How many Marvel properties have you not seen?
Yeah, that's true. Because I would say that's true because I have to. Yeah, like there's some DC ones I have to catch up with.
Did you know that the Flash came
back? No, that's true because I didn't even know that Black Lightning had came back. Like the series, I'm like, oh shit, they came back. Like I didn't even know.
It ended.
I don't think that they did a lot of marketing though for that either.
And Black Light ended, so they
got. It ended.
You've been on Disney Plus. It's cool. Black Lightning is over.
Oh shit! I didn't even know that. I gotta catch up and check it out.
Go on Netflix and watch the last season.
Oh damn! I didn't even know that. Shit.
Yeah,
very short. So that was a very short-lived series, like Preacher.
Well, see, that's the thing, right? For them, right, Warner Brothers is still operating on the same principle as much of a lot of Hollywood, which is you can't have too many minorities on screen at one time. So you get rid of Black Lightning, and then now you got Naomi from Brian Michael Bendis. So you got that, and that's going to satisfy the minority audience. All right, then we gonna
like, yeah, you turned off Black Light. Oh, Naomi, what's that about?
What's that? Yep. And then they're gonna be like, wait a second. All right, let me see. We need LGBT. Come here. All right, cool. Beast Boy, you're gay now. Come here. All right, there you go. And all right, there you go. Woman show. All right, put it here.
I mean, we're making a little bit fun of that, but it's like that could be the case. I mean, I don't know.
I would pray that that's not a real dialogue that somebody's going like, the demographic right now says.
Well, no, I mean, come on, the PR people, the people in the back that's trying to get ratings and stuff. I mean, come on, it's not a coincidence that people are trending doing the same stuff.
But I'm not really paying attention to.
I mean, we used to go to the corner store when we were kids, and we would be like, man, that last episode of Power Rangers was awesome. You go to the corner store and find Power Figures. You're like, what is Power Figures? It's like they look like Power Rangers, except they're made out of paper instead of plastic. You're like,
pretty much.
It's like,
still do that.
Some company was like, yo, we gonna get on this. We gonna get this money too. Can't let Saban be snatching it all up.
Bandai used to have that property.
And you know what happens? I saw that as a witness to myself in a Target store today. Little boy was begging his mom for a Spider-Man figure. Spider-Man figure he was begging for was like $24.99 or something. It was like one of those big plastic ones. Mom said, that's too expensive. Get something else that's like at least just like $10. And then she kept trying to give him this other figure that looked like Spider-Man, but it wasn't Spider-Man. He's like, I don't want that. And it was like, you're going to get this one. This one only $10. So those companies are making the money.
Because they understand that like the kid will eventually like pick it up and like pretend it's Spider-Man because it's the imagination.
Yeah, that's what you got to do. Because he was not happy. He was trying to get Spider-Man. His mom.
The funny thing is, even the toy companies, the popular toy companies, know that. Like Hasbro and them. That's why, like, if you go to the store, and I know we're talking about toys for a second, but it's all related. But if you go to the store, you will see they have like Marvel Titan Heroes, which is the little $10 toys that only the arms and legs move. And then you have Marvel Legends, which is the full-on articulate thing that an adult might buy. And then you have like little mini figures, and then you got little tiny, like they got all these different ranges of toys to try to fit into all of your price point because they want you to not leave the store without buying something for that.
Oh yeah, they want you to buy something.
Yeah,
hey,
they're like,
what you got? You got $2? Hey, we got some keychains.
We got something for you. You know, so that's what they're trying to like catch all of the ranges. Because again, like you're a parent or whatever, you take your kid to the store. If
I was gonna say as a parent, here's your first rule of thumb: don't take your kid to the store. I mean that. You know, it's funny that I don't. That's why I go by myself most times because I know I've been a kid myself. I know that if I take my kid to the store, and we go and you don't even have to go near the toy aisle. Kids know by now just going once. They know there's a toy aisle in this store. So they're like, Daddy, can I get a toy? Daddy, can I get a toy? Mommy, can I get a toy? They know. You could take them to just the grocery section. Kids ain't stupid. I know it's a toy section in the store.
You're like, nigga, I know what the G.I. Joe with the Kung Fu grip is.
Yeah, I know what it looks like.
I know what he looks like. But DC Fandom, all in all, was a good virtual event. I am seeing this as potentially the future of both Marvel, DC, Image, and a lot of properties because Comic-Con was very scarce this year when it came to these big companies because they're realizing that we could not have to worry about all the noise of all of the other competition and just make you show up as a fan. You're basically just feeding into that. Like, I would say for sure, the pandemic has definitely made a lot of companies do that. Like, Hasbro got me watching them weekly to see what new toys that they're announcing, and those toys don't come out till like usually 6 months from now.
I think you see all these behind me. They definitely got us.
Yeah, they get you. Like, you see all the toys behind me? Like, they get you because they keep you going saying, hey, guys, we always got something new coming out. You may not like this, but you'll like the next thing we do. So I'm pretty sure they got a list of all these thousands of characters, toys they're going to re-release, you know, toys that they made before that they're going to just re-release for people who didn't get it the first time that they made it like 4 years ago. So it's just an endless cash cow for them. But hey, we're here for it and take my money. So I'm more than happy to give it to them. I think it's hilarious that in the background of your thing, you have the Spawn up there and mine's is like right there. I got the Spawn.
Oh, yeah. I actually don't plan on taking those things out the box until we move. Once we get a bigger place, I want to get a nice display case like you have, and then I'm going to put them in.
That display case over there don't cost much. It's $50, Ronnie. I mean, I know you're poor.
$50. Good Lord, that's a lot of money.
I mean, true. Yeah, for you. For you.
Yeah, we don't got no sponsors yet, okay? Look, we don't got no sponsors yet, okay? So I can't get fancy display cases yet.
Listen, I'll give you a little secret. This glass display case over here is made of IKEA lights, which only costs about $10, and the case itself is from IKEA, and it's called a DTOF. Anybody who knows displays knows that's a goddamn DTOF. And this little guy over here is also $10 lights from IKEA, which were fantastic strip lights, all plugged in. They're about $10 each for the whole like level, or actually multiple lights, like 4 lights for $10. And that stand right there is actually a modified stand of a bookshelf that I got from what's his face? Walmart. That cost me about $20. So if you really want a display, you can make a display. You don't need to, go out and get some like fancy, like, trust me, during the pandemic, a lot of companies now all of a sudden everybody's selling display cases and they're $300 and $400. And I'm like, this damn case costs more money than the damn shit that's sitting in the case. What kind of shit? That don't even make sense. Like, it don't even make sense. Like, okay, I got all this stuff, but like I got a $20-something case with $10 lights that I got hooked up to my phone so I can change the color and stuff. Like, simple. Like, no, nothing fancy. But when you're ready, I can help you, turn your junk over there into something pretty.
Whoa. These are work of arts. Not junk.
Work of arts. Again, as you can see, as us being brothers, as we wind down, you can see I opened my shit, right? Do you see that over there? I opened my stuff and I displayed them. I let them breathe.
Look, I'm a out of box collector and a box collector. So,
okay. Well, you keep.
And this little baby here, I'm hoping to maybe one day get Tom Hanks to sign it.
Why that?
The Zoltar machine.
He literally has pops.
Yeah.
He has pops.
Yeah.
You're gonna have him sign the Zoltar machine. I'm sorry. Yeah. You're gonna have him sign the Zoltar packaging.
Yeah.
You can open up the box and go, can you sign my, like I showed last episode, I have a Cody Rhodes, a physical Cody Rhodes that's signed by Cody Rhodes. Not the packaging. Like this little empty packaging. Like, so it's like with Miro, I'm like, hey, Miro, can you sign that?
Yeah, you could have him sign the front of it, and then you put it in a nice collector's packaging.
Or I can open it up and let him breathe, and then have him sign it.
I mean, hey, to each his own as a collector, whichever.
Listen, I'm just judging you. That's all. That's all. I'm openly judging you on the show here. But that's gonna be it for us, guys. We really do appreciate you sticking with us this long. We appreciate. Oh, look at that! Just fucking beautiful. That's a beautiful toy. And now you put it on my mind. It's on the list of things to do. Go do some work and go down to Somerville to go and try to collect that Terminator toy. And you said it's the one with the dogs, right? It's the one with the dogs, because there's multiple from that series. There's RoboCop, and then there's the Terminator RoboCop, which is the one
it's a Terminator. It's like a T-800,
but he's got the Terminator.
He's wearing like a jacket or something. He comes with like a
have
robot.
You never read that book? I'm just thinking about that. Have you never read that story?
Probably a long time ago. Yeah, that shit is old as hell because I remember the video game. I think I have the video game.
What, Terminator versus
Terminator versus, yeah. I think I own that video game.
Yeah. Oh, quick video game recommendation before we wrap up. Metroid Dread. I got a chance to sit down with a buddy of mine and play that for a couple hours. Holy hell. Pretty awesome game. I'll give you a quick little thing of it. It's pretty much Metroid if Nemesis was in the game from Resident Evil. Because the reason the name of the game is called Dread is because Metroid is tricked into coming into this place to kill these bad guys that he killed in the last game. And somebody made a fake video telling him, you got to come to this planet where these monsters are still alive. And he shows up and the monsters are not there. It's actually 7 robots that are indestructible that want to murder him or murder him.
Yeah.
So you are literally surviving this game. The goal of this game is for you to get back to your ship. The problem is that you're trapped in this ginormous maze of a space station, and all you're trying to do is survive these things. Because here's the thing, they can go through doors. You know how you go into games and stuff and like you close a door and it's like, whew, that was crazy.
No. With these new video games, that is a thing of the past. They know how to open doors and shit now.
Walk through the door that she was in, and there's only like one way to kill them, but you gotta like collect some special thing to do it. It's very cool.
If you played what do you call it? You played the Resident Evil games. You know they've advanced that. They busting through doors now.
Man, they done up the ante, especially with that part. The way part 3 opens up, where they like trying to call Jill, like, Jill, get out of the house right now.
Speaking of that, that's one last thing to bring up too. We didn't bring that up we still have time, but for November, movies that are coming around Thanksgiving. Remember the new Resident Evil movie they have coming out, which actually looks really fucking good.
I'm gonna tell you that trailer looks like they literally did the Deadpool. They took a bag of nostalgia Coke, stuffed it into the mask, and said, "Poof," and just busted. It's just so much fan service.
I have to say that movie. I have to say that movie actually does look fucking good.
Literally, what they did is they took part 1 and part 2 and merged it into a movie, which could be a bad or good
it's
idea.
called Welcome to Raccoon City.
Correct. Raccoon City was Resident Evil 2. And then we had, the mansion of Resident Evil 1. I'm a big Resident Evil fan, as you know. Like, I've played all the games, including the new one with, the lady that everyone's like, drooling over. What's that, Lady Dimuichi?
I still have to play that one too. I played the demo and I was scared as shit. I'm like, it's surprising that they can still scare the fuck out of me playing that game. I also have to learn to stop playing games like that at night.
It's also because they changed it to first person, so it's even scarier. Like, you're not.
Yeah, and it's like in those games too. Like you get to certain scenes and you're walking, and it sounds like something walking with you. You're like, whoa, what? All right, man. So I found myself closing my eyes as I'm moving forward.
When I played the last game, I will say that literally at least 3 or 4 times in that game, you literally watch a cutscene or something happen, and then all of a sudden the cutscene ends, and now it's you playing, and you have to pause and say, "Oh, you want me to fight that?" That's
hell no.
That's literally what you like. You get something that busts out, and it's got 7 heads and 4 arms, and it's got a tail.
I still remember, what was that? Resident Evil? Was it Resident Evil 3? I still can't believe I beat that boss at the end. That shit was hard as fuck. Took me like
Nemesis is a boss.
Was it Nemesis? Well, he keeps transforming, and then he's like this big ass. I'm like, yo, as I was sitting there, I felt accomplished. I'm gonna
put this out there for anybody who listens or whatever and wants to send me a gift. A group of toys that I am personally trying to collect, but they're kind of expensive. Resident Evil toys, because those are the first action figures that I ever bought myself. I remember specifically where I bought them from. There used to be a video game store downtown Newark called Dr. Kim's.
Yeah.
And it used to sell the Resident Evil toys. And when I first got my first paycheck summer job, because I had a job before, but it was a cash job. And I was literally my first summer job. I remember going down there and I dropped like $30 on William from Resident Evil 2. I would, again, because I opened stuff. I opened it, I opened it, I played with it. It was really cool. And I don't know what happened to those toys, but there's so many of them that
you lost them because you opened them.
Shut your mouth. You shut up. You shut up. You know what? This conversation is over. I'm ending this right now. But thank you guys again for tuning in. We really do appreciate anyone who's out there that's listening to us. We really appreciate you pressing play. I'm Markell.
I'm Ronnie. Hit that wonderful like and subscribe button for us.
Please do that. And share this with your friends. Like, we're just 2 nerds sitting here shooting the crap and enjoying podcasts, as well as we're enjoying, talking to you guys. And please make comments. Please continue to send us questions and things on Instagram. We are there. We're constantly posting things, and coming very, very soon, because I literally just made the page. The About Us page coming very, very soon is at ronniemarkell.com. A date for it is not available yet.
Look, and if somebody out there wants to buy me a cabinet to put my action figures in, I'm more than welcome to take it.
Please don't do that, because it's only $50 and he's got a job. Okay, there's no reason why you can't buy a damn display case.
Hey, listen, man. Hey, charity is a good thing.
What he said was free stuff is great because he doesn't like to pay for it. That's exactly what he said. He'd rather you pay for it with your own hardcore money.
Oh, this is over. Where's the button text?
Guys, we're gonna end it up here at the end switch here. Oh, my finger's going over, and